Hello and welcome to the United Stand. Happy New Year to everybody. It's a new start, it's a new year, 2018. Is it going to be Manchester United's year? Well, I think we've got a perfect start in many ways against Everton today. Traditionally not a place easy to go to. United injury ravaged, I would say. Mourinho getting ravaged himself by Manchester United fans. But as I said on the video yesterday, very, very important, I believe, to back Mourinho and back this United side. And let's see what they can produce today. I'm very excited about it. A lot of people are thinking we've got no chance. We're going to be a draw. Two teams that park the bus against each other. It's an interesting situation. If Liverpool continue to beat Burnley like they are at the moment and they get the 3 points and we got beat today, we would start 2018 effectively with the same points as Liverpool, which is horrific and a horrific situation, and that's the one that I'm looking at the most today. We need to win. We've drawn too many games recently. The team news is going to come out. We know that team news is going to be very, very interesting because we've got so many players out. Ashley Young, watching the watch-along 2 days ago, the little elbow from Ashley Young, what did I say? That will be a 3-match ban because the FA will be all over it. It's a shame. It happens in every single game all over the country, but a minute a Manchester United player does it, the press are all over it, they make a big deal of it, and the FA are like, lovely, lovely, 3-match ban. So, got to do it without Ashley Young. Probably see Lindelof at right back. I'd like to see Twansibi. I think in these positions, in these sort of games, this is where Sir Alex Ferguson would chuck a kid in. There's no way Mourinho will do that, and we will probably see, you know, the same sort of personnel, Daley Blind and people like that. But clean slate after a poor month, I think, is spot on from Fionn. Team news is about 60 seconds away. DT United says Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year to you. I'd love to see 3-5-2 formation as well. Manchester United 1. And I am feeling a little bit under the weather today, as you know, over the weekend. And obviously with New Year last night. But got a bit of help. Got Ross, who's going to join me at some point. And a special guest for the watch-along as well at about 5 o'clock. So lots and lots to get involved with, and hopefully, I'm being positive. I know I did that video yesterday, and I know a lot of people don't necessarily agree with me about Mourinho, but I think it's ridiculous. I think it's way too early to turn against him. 3 weeks ago, we were hoping to beat City and get in a title race. 3 weeks later, people want him out of the club. It's too soon. That's Arsenal fan sort of reaction. It's not Manchester United fan. I think we need a little bit of class. If you're Andrew Ellis and you never wanted him in the first place, I respect that, but let's have some respect for our club. The press haters. The press hate Mourinho, and they're trying to turn us against our manager and our club, and I think we need a little bit more patience. I think January is massive. I think we can get a good result today. I'm positive that we can get a good result today, which reminds me, we normally do a Skype show on a Monday night at 8 o'clock, so you get the best of both worlds tonight, because after the match I'll do my match reaction, and then it will seamlessly roll into a Skype show. So we're taking your calls after the match tonight, so it'll be interesting. Whichever way it goes, get calling in and have your say. So looking forward to that as well. Big night ahead, and hopefully a big night for Manchester United. I presume Wayne Rooney will play for Everton as well, which in itself is, again, quite an interesting thing. We're just waiting for the team news. In fact, here is the team news. So it's pretty much as we predicted, really. No major shocks. De Gea in goal, Lindelof at right back, Jones and Rojo centre backs, Luke Shaw left back, Matic and Herrera in the midfield with Mata, Pogba, Lingard and Martial. We presume that Martial is playing up front because I can't imagine Lingard, Pogba or Mata playing there. Rashford on the bench, which I think is a good thing. I think at the moment it's good that we can find a situation where we've got Rashford on the bench and we could maybe bring him on. I think the problem against the thing that Mourinho really suffered with against Southampton was that because he had to bring Martial on so soon because Mkhitaryan was so bad, we had nothing in the last 20 minutes because he had so many defenders on the bench. I look at the bench today, again, a lot of defenders, but we've got Mkhitaryan and Rashford. Darmian's made it to the bench, Blind, Smalling's on the bench, Twansibi. I mean, it's a shame Smalling's not fit enough to play. He's on the bench, but it's a shame he's not fit enough to play because I really, I think we've missed him, and I think we miss him in the air, both on our corners and on their corners as well. But I'm pretty happy with that team. Pretty happy with that team. I don't know what you lot think, but I'm pretty happy with it, and I will get it up for you. That's what she said. Very, very soon. But we've got Ross on. Ross, can you hear me?
How you doing, Mark? You alright?
I'm good, thanks. Give us your thoughts on the team.
Strange one. Obviously, the big positive is Martial at number 9.
Yeah.
Should have done that when Lukaku went off in the last game, but he failed to do that. But he's seen the error in his ways there, at least.
I've got to just defend him on that one quickly because I do want to speak to you about your fan cam, which I thought was very good. But I must say what I said on on Saturday, Saturday, wasn't it? That a lot of people wanted Martial to start, but I think Martial was coming back for an injury, and we also always had Everton away 48 hours later. And I think that's what he was thinking about. Martial was more about this game.
No, yeah, I agree. But when Lukaku got injured, I thought Rashford at 9 was the totally wrong decision. I think that was the time that we should have brought Martial on. But look, he's on at 9 today, so we're going to get to see him, which I still believe is probably his best position. So he's got to take it today for me. But I think the back four's a little bit strange with Rojo going in as centre-back and Lindelof moving out to right-back. But it's actually not that bad because it shows his lack of faith in Darmian, and if Darmian started today, I'd have lost the plot. So, but it looks like he's gone back to a 4-3-3, which
well, who's playing on the left? Who's playing on the left? Because we think Martial's up front, but maybe he's going to play Lingard up front. I mean,
you just don't know.
Lingard on the left or Mata on the left. I mean, Martial's the one who plays on the left. We're all assuming it's Martial up front, but that would mean Lingard or Mata on the left, which they never ever play there. So. I mean, Andy MT's just made a contribution. Pogba number 10 with Lingard up front? Question mark. Sounds good. You know, so it might be that.
I wouldn't like that. Lingard up front just it won't work. He can't do that. There's absolutely no way in hell. It's got to be Martial 9. It is interesting where the midfielders are going to line up, but yeah, it's got to be Martial 9. I can't see any other reason why to not. I mean, Sky Sports have got it as a 4-2-3-1. With Lingard slightly to the left and Pogba in the middle. But that could work. That would work really well, actually.
Yeah, yeah. Herrera coming into the team as well.
Yeah, I'm actually pleased about that, to be honest. I think the midfield needs bolstering up a bit. Pogba's too deep. So I think in this formation and in picking Herrera, you may get Pogba a little bit further forward where he's more effective. I'm sick of seeing Pogba in the centre-back positions because our centre-backs can't pass the ball out, so he kind of has to come back and do it all himself. I still think we're going to win today, though. I am positive about the game. And yeah, and I just want to see... I wanted to see a bit of a bounce back against Southampton. It didn't happen, so I want to see it today.
Yeah, definitely. In relation to Everton, we'll get their team news in a minute, I presume. Wayne Rooney probably is involved, but under Allardyce, I said earlier, I was talking to somebody earlier, I can't remember who I was talking to. I think I was talking to Flex actually, because he was on the way to the ground, and I was saying I really hope that they do park the bus against us, because I think with the players that we've got, that will suit us. Yeah, Rooney does play for Everton, so they've got Pickford, Holgate, Martino, Williams, Keane, Davies, Schneiderlin, Rooney, Balassi, Vlasic, and Nias. I don't know how to pronounce that. So, you know, Everton has always been traditionally quite a tough game. Got to accept that. But I'm like you, Ross. There's something about me that's just, I don't know whether it's the new year or whatever like that. I mean, there's no reason to be optimistic about United based on the last two performances especially. But I am very, very... I just feel that maybe we will win it. Maybe we will win it.
Yeah, hopefully we get New Year, New United, to be honest, because something's got to change, and hopefully it changes today. I think the formation, it is a change. I think that we will play a bit different today. So yeah, I am positive, and I do like the fact that he's brought Herrera in. I'm not saying that Herrera is the right personnel. I think we need to bolster that midfield position, but we need to get Pogba further up the pitch. He's wasted that deep. I'm still baffled as to why the 3-5-2 suddenly gone out the window. Like, he won't even touch it. And I find it strange because I think we still have a lot of centre-backs, a lot of players in defensive positions. You know, even Twanzebe you can throw into the hat as well, get Fosu back as well. I mean, I just think we're suited to that formation, but he won't play it for some reason, and I do find it baffling. Yeah,
he's gone against that. I mean, just talking about your fan cam a little bit while I munch on a bit of Christmas cake. You obviously got a lot of views. Well done. It's not all about that, but you were quite a bit like Flex, really. I mean, I don't know whether you saw my video from yesterday with 55,000 views, but no, I'm only messing. But there was a lot of dislikes on my video, to be fair, because what I did yesterday morning is I back Mourinho and I haven't changed. I was very frustrated after the result against Southampton, but my frustration was aimed at the players because there was one chance in particular, and you may have seen it in the ground, but obviously when you see it again and again, like I was watching on the telly, I think Martial basically tumbles way into the box, cuts it back to Rashford. Even a weak-footed, left-footed player would swing their foot at it. And he controls it, plays head, shoulders, knees and toes, and then loses it. You know, and Lingard did that a couple of times as well. And you just smash the bloody ball. And I think, as bad as we were against Southampton, we still did have the chances to win that game. And that, for me, is if we'd won, you know, if Pogba knows he's offside. Why did he touch that ball when it was going in? We should have had a penalty as well. I think if we'd come out of that game 1-0, we'd have moaned about it, but we would have been, that's a good 3 points. And I think we should have come away with 3 points against Southampton. And I think we didn't because of the players. And Mourinho can't control Rashford not hitting that first time and Pogba making that weird decision. So I chose to back Jose. But a lot of people didn't. Most of the fan cams were very frustrated with him, and you were as well.
Yeah, I think looking back on it in hindsight, I was furious after that game, and I think I did go a little bit OTT and said things that maybe I don't quite believe. But actually, I was reflecting on it a bit today, and I stick by what I was saying about Jose. It's unfortunate that I wasn't on for the team lineup. So when I saw that team lineup, I was horrified, absolutely horrified. And I said to me, mate, I think we're going to really struggle to get something out of this game with what we've got there. And it came to light. So I know we had chances, but it wasn't enough for me. I just found it bizarre that the picking of Mkhitaryan, there's a lot of things that I found bizarre. And look, I back Jose too, to be honest, mate. I think he's the right man. But this Jose's not the right man. When we appointed Jose, I thought we were going to get the controversial Jose, the fireman, the one that was going to completely overhaul this team. You know, we were going to lose Fellaini, lose Lingard. He was going to be ruthless. We haven't got that Jose, that frustrates me. I think Jose's a better manager than Pep Guardiola. Yeah. But we're not seeing the real Jose.
Oh, you've just reminded me now, though, because you did make one comment that I totally disagree with, that Guardiola would do a better job than Mourinho at Manchester United. And the reason I totally disagree with it is because, one, he wouldn't come here because we haven't got world-class players and he hasn't got an open checkbook. And two, because he wouldn't have an open checkbook here, we haven't got the players that Pep could perform with. Pep couldn't get Fellaini playing tiki-taka football. I think Mourinho, with the resources he's been given, and, you know, idiots off, other channels will start saying, well, you've had 500 million. You know, I don't think he's had anywhere near enough. And I think Mourinho's done the best anybody could do with the resources we've got. Because we can't, I said this yesterday as well, we can't be hypocritical. We can't, one hand, say for the last 3 years our squad's rubbish and it's got loads of deadwood, and then just because we don't beat Southampton go, oh, get rid of Mourinho, it's his fault. I think he's overachieved with a very poor squad, and I think that's what he was trying to say on Friday. Don't expect massive changes over the next year because it's a slow process, because he knows he's not getting the money, so he can't sell 5 players and get 5 players in. He's got to do it gradually.
Yeah, I agree to a point. The problem is with the process is I don't see a process. I literally don't see... and it winds me up that when I look at Liverpool, and you can see, you know that they've got Keita coming in the summer. They're strengthened in defence. Like, Liverpool look like a more structured team. You can blame the board for that a lot. I do agree. But that's annoying me. I'm looking at a future at Liverpool. I can see development. I'm looking at United and I can see Angel Gomez, I can see Fosu Mensah. I can't see them ever playing for our team. No. So now we're looking, so we have to buy the players. Well, we're never going to get back like that. I think Jose needs to wake up and go, right, I'm not going to get back. I've still got to overhaul. I cannot keep playing consistently crap players who aren't, like you say, the players are letting him down. If a player let me down, he wouldn't play for me again. And Mkhitaryan's let him down, 9-10 games this season.
He never should have played him. Yeah, I agree.
He continues to pick him, and then other players have given their heart and soul for him. Well, they would do. He hasn't given them a chance. I mean, I know Angel Gomez is too young, but I just think there's others. There's others that will bite your hand off to wear that shirt and play in front of 75,000 fans. I don't want lazy players playing. It's bizarre. Look, I agree. I went OTT on it, to be honest, and I do back Jose, and I hope we win today. They'll paper over a lot of the cracks, but then it goes deeper, doesn't it? Because I'm looking at January and I am seriously concerned that we are not going to sign anyone. And I'm hearing rumours that, Goretzka's already gone, I think. Bayern Munich have signed him up. The players are going. They're going to get snapped up. And
I thought he'd gone to Liverpool. Has he gone to Bayern, has he?
I think he said, yeah, there was the rumour that he's already signed a contract with Bayern Munich. The Liverpool rumour, I think... Actually, it was quite funny to see because they used Liverpool as a bit of bait to speed up the transfer. It was nice that they didn't use United on this occasion.
I tell you what, though, I mean, I spoke about this. I think my match reaction wasn't you know, I love Mourinho. I think he's the right man, but it wasn't totally glowing. I think he makes mistakes, but they're not mistakes for me that make him the fall guy to get Mourinho out. I think it's way too early for that. And I did urge yesterday fans' patience. You don't have to listen to me. You can make your own mind up. That's the brilliance of being a fan. But I think it's too soon. I think I would say at least till January the 31st, even the season. But what I cannot move away from is that the momentum, and Ross mentioned Liverpool there, we are it's only halfway through the season, and Man City have won the title. That's very annoying. But more concerning for Manchester United is that for half of the season, we've had second place down, pins down, with a good cushion. If Liverpool win today, which it looks like they're going to, and we lose to Everton, Liverpool will be level with us. We've already lost second place to Chelsea. That gap, I just think we are limping towards the end of the season unless we do something significant in January. You've got injuries, we're out of form. You've got Liverpool grinding out a very good result against Burnley away, 1-0. They bring in Van Dijk in. They're playing really good attacking football. I like you, Ross. I worry, which is why we need to win today. But something needs to change at Manchester United as well, because we are limping towards halfway through the season, and we're limping on, and everyone else seems to be basically our gap at second place has been eroded. And I think for a long time we spent a lot of time looking at can we win the title, and we've always said, well, regardless, there's so much progression. We've gone from 6th to 2nd. The trouble is, once you get pulled back like we have been, you can go from 2nd to 6th very, very quickly again.
Exactly, and it isn't far away at all. When the Champions League starts, I'm sure Jose's head will get turned, because he will want silverware, and I'd agree with it. I want it too. But yeah, you've got to worry about top 4 at the minute. That's what we're fighting for. And at the minute, out of all the teams in the top 4, we're bang out of form. We are the most vulnerable. We can turn it all around today. One result can change anything. Beat Everton 3-0 today, and all of a sudden, things would be looking up. Lukaku would be coming back from injury, but it can all twist so easily. So I hope it's today that our season starts to turn. But it's kind of a double-edged sword.
Burnley have scored. Come on.
Fantastic. It's a double-edged. Like I was saying, it's a double-edged sword, because if we win, I hope that doesn't make the board think that we don't have to sign someone, and if we lose, maybe it'll jump them into actually doing something. And that's the sad truth of United at the minute. I feel like we've been like that since Alex Ferguson left. Very reactive. If things are down, we'll sign someone. Well, I think me and you were saying this all season. You don't sign players when you're down and you're out. You sign them when you're doing well to keep the momentum going. And it seems like we just wait until we need to sign rather than just actually signing progressively.
Sorry, I've got a mouthful of cake and Burnley scored, so that's good. Just bringing it back, because we'll go back to that in a minute, but the team news is going on the bottom there. We pretty much knew we were going to not play 3-5-2, which Ross is a big fan of, and I again don't understand why we've moved away from that. Spenny D made a contribution. There's a few more I need to read. If you want to make a contribution, it's the $ at the bottom of the live comments, and make sure you leave what you want to be asked. So we'll do that in a minute, but there's one in front of me. Spenny D says, does it make a bad United fan to believe that Rashford may not be a first-team player? What's your thoughts on that, Ross, in relation to Rashford? I personally think he is a top-class talent, but... And when he came on against Southampton, I mean, you were at the game, and you do see different things at the game, because you're obviously not dictated to by the TV angle, but I felt he had a good 10 minutes when he first came on, and he was very direct, and he linked up well with Lingard, but then I think he had a bad hour after that, and he's had a bad 8 weeks, but... Rashford, for me, I can't remember the last time he had a break. Whether it's international breaks, where Southgate plays him every game, or whether it's Manchester United, and you said it on the show quite recently, that there's a record of Rashford this season being involved in every single game. I don't see that as a positive. I think Rashford needs a break. 2 weeks ago, I said I wouldn't take him out of the team. I'd try and play him into form. That's not worked. I think he actually... I know Sir Alex Ferguson would do it. I'd almost say... go and have 2 weeks off in Barbados or Mauritius or wherever, and just recharge the batteries. I think that is the problem with Rashford at the moment. I think he's lost almost the hunger for the game, and he just looks tired.
Yeah, he's lost his cutting edge. Massively lost his cutting edge again. Man management for me. You're right. He needs a break. Let's take him away. Let's take him out. I think he's still got the ability to push on and be a United player. But I think this season is kind of make or break from him. He started well. He needs to finish it well. We need to see him come back because it's a World Cup year as well, so he's going to want that. But he is young, but he's kind of bordering on the line now of being young, but can he still get away with it because of that? Because you look at other players the same age across world football and they're doing it for real. So there is no excuses for me, regardless of the age. The only worry for me is Rashford, is his pace, because I kind of feel like if he lost his pace, would he be a decent player or not? And I'm an R in that, to be honest. I think he is all pace, where you need something else. You need something else in your game. He hasn't got the strength. He can't head the ball, even though he did a few great defensive headers. He won't attack a header. He needs to just develop these sides of his game to give him something else, because at the minute, he is all pace. And what you're seeing at the minute is he's not running at the players, so he's not using the pace, which is making him pretty much ineffective.
More slightly bad news is that Stoke are losing at home to Newcastle 1-0. Our next league game, we've got Derby on Friday, and then it's a week on Monday. So 2 weeks today, we play Stoke at home on Monday night. I was hoping that we would play Stoke and get Hughes the sack, but he might have got himself the sack today by losing Newcastle. Yeah, Rashford's an interesting... I mean, what I would say about Rashford, you know, I've said it about McTominay. He wasn't a player in the youth setup that anybody was really expecting to kick on and take it to the next level. But I just think he needs a break. I really do. Andy MT's made a contribution. He says, Martial up top and Pogba at number 10 sounds exciting. I mean, I was going to say that, Ross, as well. I mean, form is obviously the most important thing, because you can be the best player in the world, but if you're out of form, you're in trouble. But when you look at Matic, Herrera, Pogba at number 10, Martial up front, Mata on the right, Lingard on the left. If we were talking about this in the summer, not knowing what form people would be in for this game, you'd go, you know, well, that's a tasty midfield three, Herrera, Matic and Pogba. Obviously, we now know that Herrera's form's gone awful this year. Pogba's not been great the last couple of weeks, but on paper that would be a really exciting three. Martial up front, Mata's very consistent, and Lingard is a form player at the moment. So that is a front six, or a midfield and a front three, that realistically, if they play to their ability, and that is a big if. You know, I said it against Southampton and Burnley. When you look at the players we've got, and Scholes said it about Pogba strolling through games, but when you look at those players, if they turn up and play anywhere near their potential, then we should be doing what we were doing at the start of the season, and that is really causing teams problems.
Yeah, definitely, and I'm so excited for Pogba behind. We've said it so many times, Mark, about when Martial gets his chances, or used to get his chances, he'd be playing in basically what was our reserve team, Fellaini in midfield, and we'd all say, "Oh, well, how's he not scored?" But he didn't get any chances. He's got Pogba now, and what looks like to be a free Pogba. I'm backing Martial today. I really am, and I think he's a fantastic striker. I think he has the abilities. He can head the ball. His movement's great. He can beat a man. And despite that one chance that he missed, his finishing is normally absolutely spot on with either foot. So backing Martial today heavily. But for me, I don't know if anyone saw it. I don't know how well it came across on TV. But Mata turned into a miniature hero for me, literally a miniature hero, in Southampton, because that guy left absolutely nothing on that pitch. Now, when your team's playing well, if you're a little bit out of form, that's the bare minimum you expect from a player. You know, sometimes you don't have to be in good form. You've just got to show encouragement. And there were so many times in that Southampton game I saw 10 men or 9 men out in that pitch standing there, all looking at each other for some inspiration. And Mata just run his socks off to find space. Didn't always get the ball, but I just think that's brilliant, and I think little performances like that will massively play your way into Jose Mourinho's good books as well. I'm sure you'd have noticed that. So, and I think he's a really key player for us. I think Mata really, sometimes a lot of his work goes unnoticed because he may not get the ball, but the movement and the space that guy can create is phenomenal, and hopefully that'll open up space for Pogba today. So yeah, I'm looking at Pogba. I'm even looking at Matic as well. I think Matic has been slightly poor, but you're right. If these guys turn up, even if they give 60% of what they can produce, I think we absolutely destroy Everton today.
Just on Matic, I mean, I sort of didn't want us to sign Matic in the summer based on how he played for Chelsea last year, and I accepted I got that wrong at the end of August when he had such a good start to the season. To be honest with you, over the last few weeks, he's been playing exactly like he did for Chelsea last year, and I wouldn't have bought him. But I'm not going to say I told you so, because he signed for the club. I think he's shown the potential he can do at the start of the season, but he's, for some reason, some people think he's been overplayed. He has gone back to the Matic of last year, which is, you know, you don't really notice him that much. But Pogba's been poor as well. Sophie says, Mark, I don't think Jose wants Malcolm as much as I'd love him. His weakness is defensive contribution, and that would be one of Jose's top priorities in a winger. If you didn't watch Transfer Daily this morning, first one of the month, we've got 31 shows going out at 7 AM on the United Stand, Transfer Daily, every single morning at 7 AM. So if you're back at work tomorrow or anything like that, at least you can have a little bit of a Manchester United update with the Transfer Daily. Hopefully we're going to do some business. I would go with you, Safe, a little bit on that. Thanks for the contribution. I don't necessarily think we will go for Malcolm. I think Arsenal are interested in him as well. And 44 million, I think, will be way too much for Manchester United to want to move in on him. Thanks everybody who's watching. We've got quite a few at the moment. Please do drop a like. We like to get 1,000 likes before kick-off. Didn't do us any good the other day, but you never know. New year, new start. We were talking about the team news on the game you were at on Saturday, Ross. Obviously, Mkhitaryan started. I thought that was just suicidal. I don't know why he did that. I was saying during the game, you know, we had Callum Gribben, we had Angel Gomez. Publicly, everyone knew they were training with the first team. None of them on the bench. We had loads of defenders on the bench for a home game. And he plays Mkhitaryan, who's had more than enough chances. And I thought, you know, Mourinho, I said when we got him, I wanted Mourinho, but he won't use youth. And I think he missed the trick there. Because Mkhitaryan has had all these chances. And I think you were in the ground. If on 20 minutes to go, we're 0-0, we can't break Southampton down. He had no one to chuck on because he only had defenders. If he chucks Gomez or Gribben on, you know, they might have a really bad game. But actually, because United loved that, it would have got the crowd up. And I think that was a missed opportunity. But also, in relation to the team, for me, I feel, when I first saw that team and Martial wasn't playing, I feel that Manchester United, when Martial doesn't play, I almost feel like we're a mid-table team. I don't feel confident about United when Martial's not there. And Martial may not have the best game, but I just think he is the flair player. He is the Liverpool have beaten Burnley. Bloody hell. 2-1. They must have scored late on.
Yeah, they got a last-minute free kick and they headed it in back post Clavan. Yeah, 4 minutes into injury time.
That is a concern. I mean, Liverpool are they're on the same points as us now. I mean, we've got to win. We've got to win. This is the problem with dropping 3 points from 9 against teams we should have been beating. It's puts a little bit of pressure on us now. People can probably hear Seb in the background. He ain't happy. But 2-1, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I just feel United without Martial in it are really a side that is a bit poor and is a bit lacklustre.
Yeah, it's kind of, look, I'm not saying that he's that good or we're that good, but it's kind of like Barcelona without Messi. Messi ain't got to have a good game, but when he's on the pitch, puts fear in the players, and Martial does that. He's so good at running at defenders. It's ridiculous, and he's actually got other attributes as well. I love the guy. I'm just desperate for him to have a good game today. But the thing that disappoints me about Martial, again, is his man management, because you can guarantee, you can absolutely I'd put 1,000 quid on it. If Martial's got a hat-trick today, and Lukaku's fit for our next game, Martial plays as a left winger.
Yeah.
And I'm not, look, that may be right, it may be wrong, but it doesn't matter what Martial does. I think he's dies cast, and he's always going to be a left winger under Jose. Because Jose likes strength up top. He doesn't really like a small, pacey forward. So that's unfortunate. But I just hope Martial has a good game today, so he can prove to not just us, I think it's the rest of the Premier League, that he is an absolute force. And even that idiot Deschamps may be watching. He's got to be watching Martial today, but I wouldn't want to play for France, even if he called me up, to be honest. Not for that idiot. But yeah, big game for him today. But yeah, I still think we're going to beat these today. But again, there's not a lot of width in the team. It's Martial up top, and a lot of wingers, and potentially Lingard and Mata, which are both always going to cut in regardless. So looks like it's going to be through the middle today.
Did you say that Luke Shaw had a bad game at the weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I'll tell you what, Mark. I said to my mate before the game, because I obviously went to the game before that as well, which was Burnley. I said, Luke Shaw had a good game against Burnley, but he cannot put a cross in. He cannot put a cross in.
He should be able to. He's got a left foot, hasn't he?
Exactly, but he can never beat the first defender. Look, we don't lose the ball; it goes out for a corner every time, and you can actually turn that and say, if we could score from corners, it'd be really effective for us. So it's actually our own fault again. But he didn't put one cross. I think he put one cross in the box. Actually, the rest always hit the first defender. And for me, for playing for Manchester United as our left back, you need to be able to put a cross in. So Shaw needs to improve defensively. Fantastic, positionally, effort, great. But his final pass, his final ball was really poor. So I want to see a bit more from him today. But it's great that he's getting a run of games. It's fantastic.
Tommy says, if we don't make top 4, would you still want Jose Mourinho as manager?
We wouldn't have him as manager. I think that question's answered itself. We wouldn't have him. It'd either go, or I don't think the board would boot him. I think he'd be gone. So I don't even have to answer it. It'd be gone.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think we're a bit blinded by Shaw. I mean, I'm a big Luke Shaw fan, but I think everyone at the moment is just so happy that he's playing that we sort of ignore the bad side and focus on the good side. I don't think he had his best game against Southampton, but he has been out for a long time, and I think the brilliant thing about Luke Shaw at the moment is, one, that Mourinho's picking him, and two, that he's playing lots of games and not getting injured. So, you know, in fairness to Luke Shaw, he might need 2 months of regular football to get anywhere near back to his best. So I think it's a real positive that he's playing in a game like this today, which will be a very physical and tough place to go. It's official. Liverpool are level with us on points now. So we've got the one game in hand, which is the one coming up. We need to win. I'm absolutely gutted that we've basically, I think we were 8 points ahead of Liverpool 3 weeks ago, and now they are level with us. But that's what happens when you draw at home to Southampton and Burnley. Not good enough. I mean, I suppose, Ross, I would say that if it flips the other way and we got beat today, I mean, I can try and make people not want Mourinho, but I think if we lost today, it's, with Liverpool being levelers on points, that's like a double whammy, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the momentum will build, and that's when I said it in that fan cam. I've never seen Jose turn a team round. I've seen him come in and start doing well, but I've never seen him actually turn. You know, it start to turn on him and then pull it back. It's always snowballed on him. So yeah, it hasn't happened yet. It hasn't happened. There was a few angry fans after a game where we should have won, which is understandable. I don't think it's turned on him yet, but he needs to turn it around. This is, like I said, it's not make or break, but if we do lose, yeah, that momentum will build. And I think once that starts, it's very rare that Jose turns that around. Really rare. So yeah, but the only, you know, you could swing a positive at it and say that if we didn't win, then maybe it would force the board's hand, because it frustrates me. You know, we do all these, you know, I watch your shows, the transfer rumours, and they're there, but I do always wonder how much of that is newspapers, because actually, I look around, I think, are we in for anyone? I'm not seeing it. I'm really not, and it's you know, pissing me off, to be honest. I think, why aren't we signing anyone? Used to always be like, what happened to the days where United used to snatch a player off another club? That used to be a classic of us, you know, like Fergie picking them up in the plane or whatever. We don't do that anymore. We just seem to be blinded by it, and I think that goes down to Mr. Woodward, because I honestly think he's clueless. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, I must just say the Transfer Daily Show does come with the disclaimer where we're talking about, we do give it the United fan opinion on the transfer news stories, and we'll say if we think it's nonsense or not. And as I did this morning, and I agree with you, I think I'm uncertain as to whether we're going to do business. I feel we have to do business, but I can't say who we're going to do or if we're going to do it. And, you know, I mean, just looking at this, Mark18 Martin says, Mark, just watching Mourinho's pre-match interview looks so dejected and miserable. This is really frustrating for our fans. And Lucas Lettner says, our players are not bothered. We will lose today. I'm so sorry. I mean, I think you said it as well. It was the title of my video yesterday. I think, you know, Mourinho walking is not an impossibility, because his reputation will be tarnished if he's just going to have to carry on doing this without the help that he needs. He is, you know, I've always said Mourinho's a checkbook manager. He's not a developer of youth. He's not somebody who goes in and deals with problems on a budget. He is a checkbook manager, and it seems stupid that the club appointed him and then didn't give him everything that he wanted to do. That's odd to me. But I think there's a couple of things really in relation to the second point there from Lucas as well. rumours that the dressing room is turning against him. I suppose that is something that we're going to see today as well. You know, are the players able to respond, or are we going to see the same lack of urgency that we saw on Saturday?
Yeah, I don't think the dressing room's turned on him. Maybe a few players, but I actually saw, which makes me think that Shaw is definitely staying at United, because he made a couple of mistakes against Southampton, and Jose was the first one up, giving him encouragement, clapping him, telling him to keep going. So Jose's managing players really well. The worry for me, and I'm not saying it's happened, at all, but the worry for me, I think Pogba has such a huge influence on that dressing room. I honestly do. I think if Pogba turned and started to dislike Mourinho, I think that would be the end of Jose, because it's key figures. And I think, you know, let's not forget, you know, Pogba. But Pogba and Lukaku are basically, you know, together. He's got influence over players like De Gea, Pogba. I mean, that would be the worry. So I want to see a bit more. I don't really see a relationship between Pogba and Jose. I really don't. You don't really see an arm around the shoulder at the end of the game. Jose's just very straight down the tunnel and into the interview looking miserable. Again, that's not the Jose that I thought we were going to get. And you're right, checkbook manager. But that's why we all wanted him. We all wanted Jose, the checkbook manager, to come in, be given a load of money. We knew he'd spend it well, and we knew he'd win a title. But it hasn't happened, and we haven't had, you know, the real Jose. But he hasn't been given the real funds, really.
Yeah, a few people are saying, Mark, go and look after your baby, he's crying. Obviously, you're not a parent yet. Seb is in the kitchen with his mother, and he's shouting. He's not crying. I think he's just very happy that Martial's playing up front. He's definitely happy shouting anyway, just to reassure those people who think he's, you know, literally in trouble. I think it is interesting to see what will happen today. The way I put it, and I don't know what your thoughts are, Ross, and I would hope that a lot of people at home would look at it like this. 2017's gone. I realise that a football season, you know, carries on over 2 years, but I look at it this morning and I thought 2018, new year. Let's just look at it that we're in third place. The season starts again. We've got a little bit of a cushion over 4th, 5th and 6th, and let's start again. And maybe that's where my optimism is coming from today, because I think we've got to try and forget what's gone before us, and we've got to try and, you know, start building again. And the reality is, if we beat Everton today, obviously we've got Derby at home and a FA Cup. I'd go for the FA Cup this year. Then we've got Stoke at home. You'd expect to win that, and then maybe 3 wins, momentum, get a couple of signings in. Sevilla, Champions League, and make something of this season. Yeah, you're right. The momentum is definitely what we need, and it can. Yeah, I'm the same as you. I'd go with that. New year, new me, and all that jazz. That's what they need to be thinking. So a win today would be good. And I think a lot of the media spotlight, even though it never will be off United, if we win, no one's going to shout about it because everyone hates United, so it just go completely under the radar. And I think we need a few results like that. And it'd be the same at Stoke. No one would talk about it if we won, but you can guarantee they'll all be sharpening their knives if we lose, because they love to jump on United. And it's sickening, to be honest, because it's so obviously the agendas are so obvious. Can't believe how blinded people are to it. But and I think that runs deep. And I feel frustrated for Jose, actually, because he is right in what he's saying, that, you know, the refs have been pants. They've been absolutely crap. And do you know what? For me, it ruins football that the managers are not allowed to express their displeasure with things that they see on the pitch. I mean, it's all filtered, and Jose doesn't want to talk to the media, and that's not what the Premier League's about. The Premier League's about passion. The Premier League's about desire, anger. And I want to see that from the managers, and maybe we want to see that from Jose, but we're not allowed to, because, you know, he's suppressed behind a filter of the FA. Because, you know, Jose kicks a bottle and he gets a fine and a ban. Jurgen Klopp throws the bottle on the pitch aggressively. He gets a slap on the back and a well done, mate. I'm just reading some of the live comments. They're making me laugh. We've got a few non-United fans on. That's all I'll say. Look, I'm never going to admit anybody's better than United, not even City. That's just the way you are as a United fan. But we've got to win today. As fans, I'm up for it, but the players have got to be up for it as well. Karan Bansal's made a contribution. The board has not backed Mourinho, Imagine having Perisic in the squad where we bailed out for another 5 million. Yeah, you know, I would love to have seen Perisic at the club. I really would, but you know, that ship has sailed. But I think it does prove that he wasn't backed, and that would have been great. I'll let you get off, Ross, if that's all right. Is he already gone?
Yes, mate. Sorry, I lost you there. But yeah, no, thanks, mate. And yeah, I hope for a good result. And Happy New Year to you all and all the viewers of the United Stand.
Cheers, pal. I'll speak to you soon.
Catch you later, mate.
Ta-da. You can follow Ross on Twitter at Hazza90 at HAZZA90, and he's also got a YouTube channel which is Hazza90, I think, as well. So follow Ross. Really good fan cams, and obviously regular on the United Stand. Mr. Zaki Boy Seb doesn't support you, Liverpool. I think he's just heard the result. Go and support City, you clowns, says Tom Lee. And Anthony Martial, show your stuff at number 9. Okay. Perisic is too old, Mark, says Ashley Johnson. Well, he's younger than a lot of the players we've got playing this team. And Unknown Ghost says, our football is so boring. We need urgency, passion and goals. Pogba's looked tentative since the red card, says Christopher Morton. And Hassan Productions. Those sort of things get you blocked. And George Kyle says that Seb magically stops crying when Ross stops talking. And Goldbridge, you better take care of your child or social services will be knocking at your door. Foster the Irish. Yeah, thanks for that. And back from dinner, says Fionn Curtin. And we should buy Jason Punchin, says Eon Reddy. Okay. Hopefully I will have Sophie joining with me very, very soon when she Skypes in. I'd be interested to get her thoughts as well. Another person who did a good fan cam for us the other day. Score prediction I forgot to get from Ross. My score prediction is Manchester United to win it 2-1. We've got to win it now. I mean, Brian Wilkinson says there, Liverpool are level with us on points. I don't really know how that's happened, but again, it just shows you the problems we've had. 3 points from 9 against teams we should have took 9 points from, especially Southampton and Burnley. 2 points from 6 is just not acceptable, and we've put pressure on ourselves. And I did say all season that the problem was we've been comfortably second, looking at City. The minute City became impossible, we've just given up, and that's allowed everyone behind us to catch us up, and then we could go from 2nd to 6th. I mean, we feel there's been progress, and maybe there has been, but that progress could be well and truly stunted if we mess it up. Let's announce Joe Mourinho, says Arvind. Well, I'm not convinced about him, to be honest. I think he'd be okay, but I'm not convinced. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right-hand corner, we've got the hologram there. Get involved. Fantastic community. Get involved with the United Stand. And remember, tonight, after the match reaction, then we're taking your calls for an hour after the game. Because we normally do Skype Goldbridge on a Monday night. So tonight, after the game, we'll be taking your calls about it. So hopefully it'll be positive after a good result. Hello, Sophie. Can you hear me?
Hi Mark, yeah, I can hear you. You alright?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. You?
Yeah, I'm very good, thanks.
Good. Thoughts on the team? What do you think?
I quite like the look of it, to be honest. I'm glad that Matic stayed in, because I thought he was our best player the other day, to be honest. And yeah, I can see Pogba maybe getting a bit more of a free role, which I think he needs. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
He played very, very deep, didn't he, against Southampton. You know, great 50-yard passes, but Rooney could do that, and we need more from Paul Pogba. So I'm interested to see what he can do in a more advanced position, because we've got to win. I think we've got to win today. Maybe Everton away in the past, or even if we took the last 3 games as wins, we might have said maybe a draw's not a terrible result, but we put that sort of have to win onus on this game now. Yeah,
to be honest, I'm feeling positive about this game now. I mean, after our poor results recently, I think we need to bounce back, and I've got a good feeling about today. I think we're gonna perform today, and I'm expecting a few goals, to be honest.
Yes, I mean, I've gone 2-1. What's your score prediction? 2-0
is what I've said today.
Good. To United, I hope.
Yes, to United, obviously.
Yes. I was talking to Ross on the and his fan cam. Obviously, you did a fan cam as well. Yeah. Just as a summary in relation to yours, you were pretty much not totally similar to me, but felt that the players, it wasn't really Mourinho, it's the players who need to do more.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I was there on Saturday, and me watching, we just lacked character, we lacked desire. For me, Mata was the only one He was the one who was grabbing the game by the scruff of the neck, and that's worrying when Mata is the biggest character you've got out there. For me, we just lack character, and Pogba was very deep, yes. People were blaming Mourinho, but for me, he was very lazy on Saturday. I mean, I love Paul Pogba, but that was probably the worst I'd seen him play in a Man United shirt. Second half, I didn't even realise he was still playing. So for me, there's a lot of laziness and complacency out there as well. So I don't think you can blame Mourinho.
Mad Marcus says 1-1 all day long. Mad Marcus not on the watch-alongs at the moment because of an illness. Hopefully he'll be back soon with us. In fact, I'm sure he will do, but he's off for a few weeks. But wish him all the best. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think you know, obviously over the time we've been on the United stand, we've had certain players who get a lot more criticism than others. Won't name any names, Fellaini, but you've got to be consistent, and I do agree. I mean, I think it was in the player ratings that Flex did. He said we really missed Pogba today, and although it was a joke, it was very true. It was almost like he didn't play really, and I don't know whether the captaincy's sort of causing him problems. I saw it with Rooney. I felt the captaincy really did stunt his sort of aggression. Pogba's not an aggressive player, but I don't know whether he's ready to be taken on the captaincy of United, because I think every game he's played since he's been captain, he's been pretty poor.
Yeah, I mean, we can't rely on one player. We can't turn to Paul Pogba and expect him to win games for us. However, as we saw when he was not in our team, when he was obviously suspended, we really missed him. And since he's come back, I don't think we've had that Paul Pogba back yet. And whether it's the armband that's affected him, I'm not sure. But if you look at Valencia, he's had the armband and he's thrived on that. And that's what we need Paul Pogba to do. For me, he could be a perfect captain, but at the minute, he's just not living up to it at the minute. That's my personal opinion. And
maybe he will be good as captain. You know, you can't expect somebody to just wear the armband and do brilliant straight away. Maybe he'll grow into the role, like you say. Keith Burns made a contribution. He says, Mark, how many players per week plays that Mourinho signed this will... God, I want to read that again. Mark, how many players per week plays that Mourinho signed this will show if it's his team or not? Add it up, 2 to 3 per week, not 8 or 9. I'm sorry, Keith. Thanks for the contribution. I don't actually understand the point you're getting at there. How many players per week plays that Mourinho signed? This will show if it's his team or not. Add it up, average 2 to 3 per week, not 8 or 9. Oh, I see what you're saying now. So what Keith's saying is that how many players out of the 11 per week that Mourinho signed actually play in his team? And he says it's 2 or 3, which I suppose is a good point, really. I mean, Gary Neville made the point a few weeks ago, didn't he, that there was something like 6 players that were starting for United that were signed by Sir Alex Ferguson, which is obviously 5 years ago. Yeah. But no, I agree with that point. I think, you know, Mourinho needs a team that he's built to be judged on, and still, if you look at that team today, Martial was a Van Gaal signing, Lingard's obviously come through the youth, Mata was a Moyes signing, Matic is his signing, Pogba's his signing, Herrera's Van Gaal, Shaw Van Gaal, Rojo Van Gaal, Jones Sir Alex Ferguson, Lindelof is his, and De Gea Sir Alex. So yeah, he's not actually got. He needs time to do that, and Mourinho himself said that on Friday. Have you got any concerns about Mourinho? Do you think we'll see him beyond this season?
Well, I am concerned about him, to be honest, and I think the board will obviously have a big say in whether he's here next season. I do think that if we carry on playing the way we are playing, and obviously top 4 slipping away from us, I do think that Mourinho will walk at the end of the season. I can't see him being here, which for me is a worry, because realistically, and I said this on my fan cam the other day, if we haven't got Jose, who would you have instead of him at the moment? I don't want us to become a club who's moving from manager to manager. There's obviously something wrong with our squad and our players, because we keep swapping manager and we're still not improving. So obviously something needs to change there. So that's why I don't believe you can blame Mourinho solely, and that's why the board should back him, and he should be given that more time really to improve.
Yeah, it's going to be... I certainly don't think it's set in stone. I really hope that it works out. I think he's the right man for the job, and I just think it'd be such a shame if Mourinho ended up leaving and we never ever understand what he could have done at the job. And you know, I'll be totally blunt. I know a lot of people don't like it, but to be honest, Mourinho needs the money. That's what... Mourinho's always been a manager who needs money, and we've got lots of money. And I personally thought when we got him, that's what we were going to get. Shinji Kagawa, has made a contribution. He says, Cantona, Vidic, Evra, Robson, Kanchelskis, Sahar, Andy Cole, Steve Bruce, and of course Dong Fang Zhu were all mid-season signings. It's an underrated window. Yeah, well, Andy Cole, Cantona would have been pre the January transfer window. You could sign people at any time, but they were January signings, if I recall. Vidic and Evra, definitely. I think it's a good opportunity, this transfer window. I think we do need to go and get people. I was talking to Ross there about how, Liverpool have got momentum and they've got Van Dijk. United are limping a bit and we're only halfway through the season. Do you expect us to sign players?
To be honest, I'm not expecting any big players to come in. I'm expecting us to get rid of more players than sign more players in January. I think clubs are reluctant to let their best players go in January, so I can't see any big players coming in. If anything, it'll be in the summer. I'm hoping that we do get some business. Obviously, Mourinho signed Boye, who went under the radar. No one had really heard of him, and he's turned out to be a fantastic signing. I'm hoping we get someone like that, someone who actually their name is not being battered around, and we get a bit of a pleasant surprise, to be honest. But I can't see anyone big coming in, and major transfers I can't really see happening in January. As much as I'd like them to.
You can get Transfer Daily on the United Stand 7 o'clock every single morning. We had the first one this morning. It opened up with some glamour names: Bale, Griezmann and Dybala, of which I don't think we'll sign any. But we just react to what the latest news is. What's happened to Zlatan, says Jack. Good point. Knee injury reoccurrence another month. Which is this? Well, you can read it one of two ways. I mean, I just think he's been really poor since he's come back, and I think he came back too early.
Yeah, I think he has not looked like the same player, and I know it's harsh to judge him because you have to give him time, but he doesn't move, to be honest, on the pitch. As much as I love Zlatan, I just can't see him ever coming back and being the same player. And for me, yeah, I can't really see him getting back into our starting lineup and doing much this season, and it's a shame. Obviously, the injury has hindered him, but it does not look the same Zlatan that we had last season. It's too static, too slow, to be honest, which is a shame.
I've forgotten to do it last time, so I must just do it now. We always do it on the watch along. So wherever you're watching, if you are on the live comments, let us know where you're watching from. The nosy part of me just wants to know where everyone's watching from, because we are the biggest club in the world with the biggest fan base globally. So let us know where you're watching from, and we'll shout out a few of those. And also, we're very close to 1,000 likes. I'd hate us not to hit it before kick-off, and then we lose, because I'll blame it all on you lot. So 1,000 likes and we'll win. You've heard it here first. But and also subscribe, bottom right hand corner. We went past 170,000 just before 2018, so that was fantastic last night. So onwards and upwards. Make sure if you're new to the channel you subscribe and get involved. We're live every night at 8 o'clock, and every morning throughout January 7 AM we've got the Transfer Daily, so get involved with that. And remember, tonight, Monday night at 8 o'clock is normally a Skype show, but obviously we'll be pretty much, we will still be live at 8 o'clock. What we're going to do is we'll close this stream down, I'll do a match reaction, and then that will seamlessly move into a Skype show. So if you've got anything you want to talk about, you're probably going to have stuff you want to talk about in 2 hours' time after this match. Get Skyping up later. So loads on the United Stand tonight. We've got people watching from Michigan, Bahamas, Egypt, Nigeria, Halifax, Brooklyn, Slovenia, Iceland, India, Portugal, Torbay, Dublin, Northern Ireland, Zimbabwe, Coventry, Sweden, Mauritius, Nairobi, Cardiff, San Diego, Mississippi, Nottingham, Manchester, finally, Middlesbrough, Bath, Jamaica, Brooklyn, Finland, Doncaster, Scotland. Where's the Aussies and the New Zealanders? India, London, the Netherlands, Glasgow, Kenya, Canada, Sweden, Brooklyn again, Portugal. I'm reading the same ones again now. Loads and loads of people watching anyway. Cape Town, South Africa. That's from Carlisle Robertson. There you go. You got a shout out for that one as well. Well, just goes to show, doesn't it, as we go into yet another year, how big Manchester United are and what a great global support we have. So thanks everyone for watching. Fantastic, isn't it, how we can just come together on a live show and have so many people from around the world getting involved in it and collectively sharing their opinion. And that's what the United Stand's about. It's all about the community that we have, which is a fantastic one. So keep getting involved. And we've gone past 1,000 likes, so that definitely means we're going to win. Sophie, can you see the live comments actually?
I can, yeah. They're flowing through now. I can see them.
Brilliant. For the next minute or so, chuck some questions at Sophie, because I just realised I've got my TV next to me. I've not plugged it in to my Virgin box, so I will turn it on and I won't be able to see the game. So I'm just going to go and do that. It will take me about 60 seconds. Am I alright to leave you with interacting with this lot for a bit?
Yeah, no problem. It's fine.
Okay, I'll be back in a minute.
Alright, no worries. There's people watching from everywhere. IE Glory Hunters, someone's commented there. Nice original one. Birmingham, not far from me. I'm in Wolverhampton watching today. What's your score predictions then, guys? Get some comments in. 2-0 is my prediction. Martial to score. Hopefully Pogba get on the score sheet as well. Liverpool have obviously won today as well, which is disappointing. Is Rooney a threat? Yeah, I do. I actually fear Rooney today. When I saw him starting, I must admit my heart sank a little bit. I can see him being a nightmare today. Do we think he'll celebrate if he scores as well? I do. I think he will celebrate. What do you think about Herrera starting? I hope Herrera finds his form from last season. He was my player of the year last year. Hopefully he gets that form back. I do feel a bit sorry for him. I know obviously he hasn't hit the form of last season this year. However, he has obviously not been given the game time and the fluidity. So fingers crossed, with more games, he will get back to that form. So yeah, I'm happy to see Herrera there today. Lindelof playing. To be fair, when he played right back last game, I didn't think he did too bad. Yeah, obviously I think he was against Mahrez, wasn't he, in that game, which obviously was a tough game for him to come in at right back. I think he'll be all right today, to be honest. I think Lindelof has settled more and more in a United shirt. And yeah, I'm not too concerned about him today. Two-1 United, same prediction as Mark there. Rooney last-minute equaliser. I hope that does not happen. Hopefully it doesn't last that long as well. Hopefully he goes off a bit earlier. I actually feel really confident today that we're going to get a good performance from the lads. I'm hoping. If Jose walks, do you believe that we'll turn someone like Pochettino? I do like Pochettino, but the thing for me is he hasn't actually won anything yet. I love their style of play and obviously his belief in the youth, but the board will obviously look towards the success that he's had, and he hasn't really won anything yet. So no, I can't see that happening, but I do like Pochettino. I sound like an 11-year-old. I'm not 11, I'm a bit older than that. First one signing in January. So I believe the ship has sailed, but I would still love Perisic, to be honest, to come in January. Like, as you know, I keep banging on about a winger, and that's what we're lacking at the moment. So yeah, I'd like to get Perisic, maybe even Mahrez, but we need a flair player for me in January. So yeah, Perisic would be my one signing if it could happen.
It's interesting. I'm just back now, Sophie. I'm just looking at the players in the tunnel, and you know, Pogba's there, bloody shaking hands with everybody, and Rooney, captain of them, he's acknowledged them, but his head's down. You can see he's focused, and I always preferred that sort of approach, to be honest. I don't like this all shaking the hands and stuff before a game. I always liked the Roy Keane approach, where it was, you know, I've got a job to do, and you know, Gary Neville was the same. I don't like all the sort of get on with everybody, but it's a modern game, I suppose. Everybody's like that. What are you like? You play a bit of football yourself. Are you a game face girl, or are you like, you know, happy to sort of shake hands with everyone?
Yeah, I'm definitely more game face. Shake hands afterwards, but before the game, I think I'm more like focused. To be fair, I think my manager would go mad if I was shaking hands and having a laugh beforehand. To be fair,
I mean that definitely is the mentality of Manchester United a bit at the moment. It irritates some people who are a bit old, you know, a bit like that. I was going to say old school because it's not old school. It's just it's a mentality. But United are a bit like that, aren't they? A bit, you know, the dancing and this, that, and the other. I mean, talking about Roy Keane, I think he'd kill half of this team because he's, you know, so different. But chucking it down with rain in Liverpool, and hope. Well, who does that benefit? I don't know. But United need to get at this side. I think I was talking to Ross before about the front six: Herrera, Matic, Pogba, Mata, Lingard, Martial. If they turn up, and that's what it's all about. If they turn up, that's a better front six than what Everton have got. It's just, I think it really is about the players today.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like you said, it's raining, which worries me, to be fair. A bit like when we go away at Stoke and we always struggle. Hopefully that doesn't happen today for us, and that we come out the blocks fast. I think we need to get an early goal to settle us, to be honest, because obviously we're not in good form at the minute. We do seem to be lacking a bit of confidence, so hopefully we come out the blocks and this suits us a bit better today. I think an early goal will settle us, and I think I can see it being quite a comfortable game, if I'm honest. Defensively, I don't think Everton, although they've improved, they're still not that good at the back. Ashley Williams has been a bit of a liability, so I can see us, with that front six, I can see us definitely causing them problems, to be honest.
Well, we're 4 minutes away from kick-off. Just looking at the team news there, as we all know it, it's De Gea in goal, Lindelof, Jones, Rojo, Shaw. Matic, Herrera, Pogba, and then Lingard, Mata, and we presume Martial up front. I mean, I'm a bit intrigued to see who's going to play on the left. I would presume it's going to be Lingard, and what we don't want to see is Martial on the left and Lingard up front. But hopefully we'll see Martial through the middle, and I think he certainly wants to play there. So be interesting to see. Just got a comment I've got to read here from Jared. He says, thanks for the contribution, Jared. He says, news out that Lukaku will only miss 2 weeks. What happens when Martial crushes it up front and then Lukaku starts straight away? Also, Ronaldo rumours starting up. Well, I mean, Ronaldo to United rumours are just... I don't think it'll ever happen, Sophie, do you?
No, and to be honest, a few years back, yeah, I would have loved it to happen. But now, for me, Ronaldo... I don't know if he's on. I don't like to say this because Ronaldo's literally my favourite player, but I think he's on his way out. To be honest, he doesn't look the Ronaldo of the past few years for me. I know he's just won a Ballon d'Or and that, and yeah, I don't think I'd want him back. To be honest, now I think a few years ago maybe yes, and the rumours now are just a hindrance to us because it just gets us excited every time and it just never comes through. It's normally just a boost for a better contract or yeah, just no, I can't see it happening, and I don't think I do want it to be honest.
Good. Very, very close to kick-off. The timer will change from 40 seconds to 0 as soon as the game does kick off. Ronaldo rumours sell papers, says Twix Space Raiders. I think you've hit the nail on the head there.
Yeah.
Terrible front three. Lingard over Rashford, says FX Tummy. I like the fact that we've got Rashford as a bench option today. I do think that the Rashford Martial interchanging worked really, really well at the start of the season, and it's nice that we've got something off the bench with a bit of pace. Balassi isn't as skillful anymore, says Sia. Look, Everton away is a tough game, and I think, you know, if we'd played Everton, you know, under Koeman or Unsworth, this would be an easier game. The one thing that Allardyce has done to Everton is what he's done to every other team. He's made them far more harder to score against. I mean, I think they went to Anfield and got a draw, didn't they? Or maybe it was at Goodison Park, I can't remember. But it's it won't be easy, which is why I agree with you. I think an early goal would be a big thing, because I think the safe bet in this game probably is a 1-1 or a 0-0.
Yeah, definitely. And like I say, defensively under Allardyce, they're a much better team, Everton now, and they have improved. But for me, they're still not that good at the back, although they've improved. But however, if they park the buzz against us, no matter what the team is at the minute, we struggle to break them down. So it's more about us today rather than them, to be honest, whether we perform. That's what dictates it today.
I tell you what, Wikipedia is definitely wrong. You know, for years and years, I've always understood that Luke Shaw was 6 foot, and I've just seen him stood next to Jesse Lingard, who's 5'9", and there's nothing between them, so that can't be true. It's official. It always says that
looks small.
It always says that Luke Shaw is 6'1", and he can't be. Anyway, the game's up and running. Enough of the height conversation. Manchester United have kicked off, and they're in possession at the moment. And Sophie went 2-0. I've gone 2-1. I think we'll be absolutely ecstatic with either result, as long as Manchester United win today. That's what it's all about. And hopefully we'll see a better performance than we did against Southampton at the weekend. I suppose that not being at home in some ways is always quite a nice thing, because that pressure disappears, and you've just got to play for yourselves. I mean, the away support for United is great, but there'll always be I say always, because they're very loud, but you know, away from home, the intimidation comes from the away crowd. So the home crowd,
yeah.
sorry. So United just need to play within themselves, and Herrera knocking it out for a throw-in under no pressure at all isn't the best of starts, but he's not been playing that much lately either.
No, when you went just to sort your Virgin box out, someone commented saying, how do I feel about Herrera starting today? Last season, Herrera was the player of the year for me. I said that he was my player of the season, and I felt a bit sorry for him this year. I mean, I know he hasn't been that good when he's played, he hasn't hit form, but I think the lack of games has really hindered him, and I do feel sorry for him, to be honest. But like you say, not the best of starts for him there either. He does need to grab his chance when he gets one.
Martial's playing quite deep at the moment. I'm just,
yeah, he is.
Oh, here we go. Oh, I was telling you what, that's a decent ball there through to Lingard, but Pickford's got it. after the second grab. It's difficult. We're just trying to keep an eye on what the formation might be. Reese Bandy says, if it's a draw, will you rage? I think.
Yeah.
I think
it depends.
We'll see. Yeah, I think you're right. It does depend on the result, really. Well, we do need to win, don't we? But you don't know how the circumstances.
Yeah. I think if we play well and we show a bit of passion, and we get a draw, then I wouldn't say happy, but I'd be satisfied. Because for me, the lack of passion over the last few games is what's annoyed me more than anything.
Yeah.
But obviously, we're Man United and we should be aiming to win.
And we mustn't forget that we have actually, I know everyone's got every right, and I do agree with a lot of what people have said over the last couple of days. I don't agree with people being Mourinho out, but it's a personal choice. I think he's got to be given longer. But, Southampton especially was just not acceptable. And we need to see much, much better from the players. But we have got a lot of injuries. And... But then again, when you say you've got a lot of injuries, Lukaku apart, I mean, can you really say that? Well, and Babe, but he's been out for a long, long time.
Yeah.
A lot of those injuries, they're not game changer injuries. I mean, I'm sure Mourinho would love to have Fellaini fit so he could play him, but for me, that's a bit of a bonus that he's injured because I just can't stand the way he plays football. But
do you think Fellaini's going to leave in January?
Well, I don't know whether you read his comments yesterday where he said, I might leave even if there's a contract offer on the table. What I hate about that is how he's sort of talking as if he's like Messi. Like, he's Mario Fellaini. He's the Belgian Peter Crouch. It's I'd kick him out. I don't want him here. But I've always felt that he'll stay, and I think it's embarrassing that United are pretty much begging him to stay. I think that's sort of... It really does to me... Everton just on the attack here. It really does to me sort of epitomise what United's problem is, that we're begging a player like Fellaini to stay, because again, he's a player that wouldn't get anywhere near any other team in the top 10. Yeah,
I do think Fellaini is useful to having your squad to bring on maybe, but we don't utilise him. We don't play him like you should play him, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, trying to play him as a ball-playing centre midfielder is just not what Fellaini is.
No,
and
he's a number 10.
I just don't understand that at all. So that baffles me a bit, to be honest. And that's why, although I'm like Mourinho in, I'm not Mourinho out at all. I do think he has got some things wrong tactically, but I don't want people to judge him too early, to be honest.
Let's have a look at some of the comments. Sky97 says Lingard number 9, Mourinho WTF, which means swearing. I've sort of noticed that, Sky. I'll keep an eye on it because I've also been asked by somebody else. Scott Roberts says Martial is up front, everyone, and so I thought my personal thought was, and feel free if you see any comments just to interact with them, Sophie. But
yeah.
I personally thought Martial was up front, but it was still very early in, and there has been a bit of interchange. So I'm not 100% sure that he is at the moment, but I think Martial is up front and Lingard is. Lingard's more to the left. I think Martial's definitely the number 9.
I think Mourinho's trying to get them to interchange. He wants them to rotate between them.
Yeah.
Mata as well will obviously cut in as well.
But when you see us without the ball, it's definitely Lingard and Mata who drop back, and Martial doesn't. But Martial, yeah, you're right. There's a lot of interchangeability, but I think when we're on the defence, that's when you see that Martial is the number 9.
Yeah. I see comments there about Antonio Valencia as well. I do think he's a massive loss for us. I said it the other day. I can't see a better right back at the minute, to be honest, than Valencia. I don't think there's anyone out there better than him, if I'm honest. I think he's a massive loss for us, Valencia, both as a captain but also as a threat going forwards. Lindelof won't provide that threat.
I tell you what, in a game like this though, I did say to Ross before that actually in a game like this, as Zlatan, a fit Zlatan obviously, a fit Fellaini or even a Lukaku would be quite useful, because the problem we're going to have with this is that Everton are just going to, and already have done, when the ball's bouncing around the Everton box, it's just too easy for them because they're just physically massive compared to the likes of Lingard, Mata and Martial. So the only way we're going to cause them problems, a bit like we've got to try and play a bit like Man City, as impossible as that may seem. We've got to be clever with the ball, because that's how we're going to hurt Everton. We're not going to hurt them with crosses into the box. I mean, corners are a waste of time for United anyway, but they're a big waste of time today because Everton are a lot bigger than us, especially in the defence against our attack. Yeah,
definitely. I think a game like this, we're trying to play in between the lines. Obviously, that's what Lingard is good at. Running in between the lines, his movement against Southampton the other night. Again, I thought his movement was fantastic along with Mata, and I just didn't get the ball a lot of the times. There's a few times as well when Martial came on and he was trying to spin in behind, and just Matic would not play that ball. So hopefully today that we do look up, and I think we're going to be looking for more passes in behind and in between the lines today.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what we should be doing. Matic, though, he looks poor at the start of this game for me. He's been turned a few times already.
Well, I did say in the summer that Matic wasn't a good signing.
No. Marco's asked where Ashley Young is. He's suspended, isn't he? He's banned.
Yeah, that silly little elbow. But I think that sort of thing happens in every game. But if it's United, it just gets highlighted. And there's no defending it. But as I say, you'll see something like that in most Premier League games and it never gets flagged up. But because it's a United player, it's...
yeah,
it is.
Definitely it's more highlighted in it. Did you see the City game yesterday as well?
I didn't. I was actually... Where was I yesterday? I was New Year's Eve yesterday. So no, I was actually up at family. I was keeping an eye on the phone, and I think it was... I saw that Palace had got a penalty, and I just thought I was refreshing the timeline.
Yeah.
I thought I bet they'll miss. I do think City will get beaten at some point.
Yeah, to be fair, it was close yesterday. Palace gave them a good run for the money. I thought City got a bit lucky towards the end.
The funny thing is about City though is that before they played us, I remember they played Southampton. Funnily enough, they played Huddersfield, and they scraped those late, and that's why I thought, United are going to get something, and then we just totally and utterly sat back and let them play their game. And but a lot of the teams that just park the bus against City do quite well.
Yeah, exactly. It's a bit like against us, isn't it? We struggle against teams like that. The only thing with City is they've got more variety in their play, whereas us, we're a bit more route one. We lack a plan B option, really. Obviously, with City, you've got the likes of Aguero, which I think is the kind of player that we lack. Somebody with a bit of pace. But yeah.
Well, there was a really good comment on the Watchalong on Saturday, actually, about United and how if you watch Man City or Liverpool, if you can bear it, their movement in the final third from midfield is so fast that when you defend against it, it's really hard. You can't organise yourself quick enough because they move it so quick. When you watch United, for every forward pass, there's a sideways pass. And if you're defending that, teams always have everybody in position against us because we don't move the ball quick enough to stretch teams. And I think I don't know whether that's something that Mourinho's always done or whether it's the players, the personnel that he's got. But that is something we do need to improve on because, as bad as Liverpool are at the back, they have scored a lot of goals this season, and obviously Man City have scored a lot of goals, Spurs the same, and that's because they do move the ball very, very quickly in the final third, and we don't. And that's where I think people say, well, United are boring. Maybe it is a little bit boring, but we just don't stretch teams. We're very bad at it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for City, the transition between defence and attack is phenomenal at times. When they win the ball and they just break in numbers. And we did it once against Southampton. I remember it clearly the other day when Rashford broke the ball and he passed it to Mkhitaryan and he overhit the cross. It was a shocking ball from Mkhitaryan, but that's what we need to do more of. We literally carve Southampton open with that counter-attack. And I think when we counter-attack at pace, at times we can be unplayable, but it's like we choose not to. And whether that's from Mourinho or a lack of confidence, I'm not really sure. But we seem to... Yeah, like you say, pass sideways and go for the safe pass rather than taking a risk or running at a player.
Coconut J says making Pogba as a big captain is a big mistake. He's a kid. It's given him too much responsibility and took the fun out of his game, and now it's making his look rubbish. We were talking about that before the game. I'm not convinced it suits him at the moment, but maybe, hopefully, he will grow into it. Peter Dawson says we don't lack pace. Okay. And is he going to show the game or what? Says Bashara. Somebody tell him what a watch-along's all about. Somebody's asking what's your Twitter, Sophie.
It's Soph Richo. SOPHRICHO.
There you go.
Somebody's commented it.
Matthew McFadden's just put it there as well, at Soph Richo. So, do we think we'll sign anyone in January? If so, who? Says Lemons are real. Well, you can see 9 o'clock, 7 o'clock every morning we've got Transfer Daily, so any news you'll see on there. But I think we've got to. I understand why people think we won't because of our owners, but the momentum with United is just disappeared. It really is. We're limping through this season, and there's still so much of it left. And you look at Arsenal, you look at Liverpool. They're level with us on points at the moment. Hopefully, we can win this and move 3 ahead again. But not only that, they've brought Van Dijk in. They're improving their team. They've got a lot of momentum. Momentum at this point of the season is very important, and I think somehow United need to get some momentum back into the team. And I don't, as I was saying to Sophie there, I don't really see who we're missing that's going to come back and give us the momentum. I mean, Lukaku's obviously important, but he's only just got injured. Zlatan may never get back. Fellaini, you know, is he going to give us momentum? Bay is very good, but he's a centre-back. I think we need to go and get a number 10 or a winger, just to give us something different.
I completely agree. I think a number 10, a winger, and yeah, that would be the 2 positions I'd definitely go for. I mean, I said Perisic before, but it looks like that option is gone. How would you feel about someone like Mahrez coming in, maybe? William was battered around as well, William from Chelsea. Can't really see us getting him, to be honest. Mahrez, I think, would be a more reachable option. And obviously, Dybala and Griezmann are the spots for number 10. They're the names that are battered around there.
I think, you know what, it's a bit like when somebody said to me, would you take Ozil 2 months ago? And I was like, no, don't want any Arsenal spineless bottlers and everything like that. And then I saw how bad we were in the number 10 situation. It's a good little bit of play by Martial and Pogba. Oh, everyone steps over it. It was good play between Martial and Pogba there, and the cross back by Pogba was good. But both Martial and Herrera dummied it. So I wonder who's done the shout to make them dummy it, because there was nobody there. But yeah, I probably would take Mahrez now over nobody. It's a bit like Ozil. I would take him over what we've currently got. I think there's better than Mahrez, but if it's Mahrez or nobody, I think we're in the position at the moment where we need somebody in.
Yeah, I agree. Ozil, I'm a bit mixed on him, to be honest, because part of me says, yeah, get him, he's Premier League. He has had a few good games in the Premier League. Under Mourinho, obviously, he was fantastic before. But also for me, he vanishes in games, which is obviously what Mkhitaryan's doing at the minute as well. Do we need another player who vanishes? That's my concern with Ozil. Yeah,
that's where I was a couple of months ago, to be honest. But I just think we don't have a number 10, so he's got to be better than nobody. But
yeah, I agree. Alexis Sanchez obviously looks like he's leaving as well. Would you go for him? City look obviously destined to get him, but
I would. I just think you've hit the nail on the head. I think he'll end up at City.
Yeah, I think so as well. Who would you go for out of Griezmann and Dybala?
I would go for Griezmann because I really like Griezmann. I think he'd suit us really well, but I probably would say Dybala's the better player. So, you know, I just do like Griezmann, but I think Dybala's better.
Yeah, I agree as well, and I think Griezmann not coming last season, that kind of put me off him a little bit as well. I know he was doing it for his club and all that, but if you want to play for Man United so badly, you would have come last season for me. You would have come in summer. But
just watching this cutback from Pogba here, it's really good. Herrera over. I think Herrera leaves it for Martial, but Martial just didn't quite get there. But it was a good little bit of play between Martial and Pogba.
That's where we want to see Pogba breaking into their box more. Yeah, that's where we should be.
So we were 15 minutes in. Some people say it's a boring game. We're not doing that well. I think to be honest, we're sort of feeling our way into this game, and we were talking about it a few minutes ago. There's only one way United can win this game, and that is by good football. Because anything we hit long, they're going to eat up because their centre backs are much bigger and more powerful than what we've got up front today. So we've got to play football to beat them, which is a good thing because we've got to win, but it'd be nice to win playing a good game of football as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Pogba there. I think Pogba ducked that challenge, to be honest.
I think if you think back to the Southampton game, Southampton played some good little combinations and kept the ball on the floor. Showed us up a little bit in spells, to be honest, when we were the home team, and I think we need to add that into our game a bit more. At the start of the season, I thought we was doing that. I thought we had some good little combinations. Pogba linking obviously with Lukaku and Mkhitaryan, but towards the latter part of the season, well, towards Christmas, we haven't really seen that in our play. We've been too slow, so we need to get that back a bit. That's what I was hoping Herrera would bring, to be honest. a bit of pace from the middle and a bit of forward thinking. Marco Reus, I think he would be a great addition. That's
Still
what
injured, isn't he?
Smith has said. Yeah, that's what concerns me with him as well, his injuries. A bit like Bale, really.
Yeah.
When he's fit, he's phenomenal, but yeah, injuries, we don't really need another Hargreaves kind of player. Draxler?
Yeah, he's
I'll
surplus
take
to
Draxler.
requirements at PSG. There's a lot of players out there. I mean, I wouldn't be. He very rarely is the players that we're linked to as well that we actually sign. And
Yeah.
you know, a lot of people on about Malcolm and. I suppose the problem with all the injury problems we've got at the moment, I don't actually think we'll be getting rid of players this month, and I think that's almost as important, because I personally would like to see Darmian go this January, and possibly even Blind. I don't think they really offer as much anymore, but I think because of the injury problems we've got, you'll probably end up keeping him, which in itself will probably then prevent us buying somebody.
Yeah, I mean, Blind was linked to Barcelona, wasn't he?
Mm.
And for me, Blind is suited to Barcelona. I actually think he's a very good footballer who reads the game well. It's just a bit slow, really, but I could see him fitting in at Barcelona.
Oh yeah, because defending in Barcelona is far easier than it is in the Premier League, because you're playing 80% of your opposition are pub teams, and you don't actually do that much defending. Most Barcelona defenders, you've just got to be good on the ball, and I think Blind would suit that really well. As we've seen with Mascherano, who's not even a defender, and he can play there. So.
Yeah, exactly. I could see him being quite suited to there. Get rid of Fellaini is a comment that's been posted there by Bobby saying get rid of Fellaini.
That's my comment of 2018 already. Nailed.
I don't know. His comments make me think that, yeah, maybe he might be on his way out the door, but for me, I think Mourinho values him too much, and I just can't see it happening.
I mean, that's one thing. I mean, I back Mourinho, but I don't back how he uses Fellaini all the time. I don't get why he does that, because for me, Fellaini, like you said, he's a good bench option, and he's a good option to throw on for the last 10 minutes. But to pick him as a centre defensive midfielder, like Mourinho has done a lot, I don't get that. I just do not understand why he does it, because he's just, you know, no other club in the top four would play Fellaini as a midfielder.
No.
But Mourinho does. Yeah.
Especially not like a ball playing centre midfielder. Like, you can't say that passing and vision is like a highlight of his game, realistically.
No. Scott Roberts says that Fellaini said on Instagram he's leaving. Well, if he did, I'd love it to be true, but I'm not too sure about that.
I think he's effective, Fellaini, if you use him right. I just don't think we use him in the right way, which is what annoys me.
We will have fan cams tonight, yes. Flex is at the game, and he will be speaking to United fans afterwards. So really good fan cams after most games now, but definitely after the Southampton game, of which Soph gave one, and Ross and a few others. So they will be going up tonight, probably from about 9 o'clock-ish. We've also got a Skype show tonight, straight after the show, because we normally, on a Monday night at 8 o'clock, we normally do the Skype show. So what we're going to do tonight is I'll end the stream as soon as the game ends. I'll do a little match reaction on another stream, but then we'll just carry it on taking your calls. So if you've got things you want to get off your chest, obviously that's going to be dependent on the result, I would presume, but it might be other things you want to talk about. You can Skype in a little bit later as well. So lots on the channel tonight. I suppose a lot of people might be back at work tomorrow.
I am.
Oh dear.
Shy Guy has said, who would I rather have between Mahrez and Malcolm? I'm going to say Mahrez because he's proven in the Premier League, and he's the kind of player I think that we're lacking at the moment. So Mahrez would be my choice there. Is that you the same question, Mark? Mahrez or Malcolm?
What did you go, Mahrez?
Yeah.
See, I probably would go Malcolm because he's younger, and I just like the attributes that he's got. I prefer, but I do admit that it's Malcolm's more of a step into the unknown, whereas Mahrez is Premier League proven. Oh, it's unlucky. Good little bit of play there. Yeah. Just got away from Martial. It's a shame.
We're growing into this game, though, for me. We're looking a bit more settled now. We were a bit shaky at the start. We weren't keeping the ball very well. Martial's touch.
Yeah, I think it was Herrera who tried to play him in, but it was just a little bit of a heavy first touch from Martial. But Difficult circumstances anyway. It is obviously raining, so that's going to, for the technical players, it's a little bit more difficult when the ball's wet. But yeah,
I'd have controlled that.
I agree. It's we are starting to grow into it a bit, and we are the away team, so
yeah, definitely. I think if we win this game, it's good for our momentum. Obviously, it puts us in good stead for the games coming up. I think a win here is what we need at the minute. With the past results, obviously, over the last few weeks, I think we need a good away win. Pogba is all over the place, says David. Yeah, I think he's been given a bit of a free roll today, by the looks of it.
He's playing slightly to the left, isn't he? It's not dissimilar to the position he used to play for Juventus, sort of like in a midfield three, with him being given more of a licence to play, like people are saying. I mean, Lindelof's having to get through a lot of positions at the moment as well, isn't he? You know, centre back, back to right back again, centre back, right back again today.
Lindelof, he started poor, but I think he's starting to improve now in a United shirt. Starting to see him settle a bit more. Still not sure how ready he is for the Premier League, but yeah, I think he's getting better.
Well, Herrera's getting a lot of the ball at the moment, which is a good thing. Yeah, I mean, Lindelof's a bit like Shaw for me. I think, you know, maybe the performances aren't consistently brilliant, but it's more about, you know, he's not playing badly, and the game time for him is going to be a real positive. The more games he plays, the more he gets used to the Premier League. And again, for Luke Shaw, having been out for so long, it's you need games.
Definitely. I mean, this is more of a transition season for Lindelof, isn't it?
Oh, here we go.
And the more
Everton. Good tackle that by Rojo. What a recovery tackle that was. I think he made the initial mistake, but I think it's Nias who's running through in the box. You think he's going to get the shot away, and I don't think he would have finished that well anyway. But I think De Gea would have saved it. But good recovery tackle from Rojo.
How do you feel about Rojo? I must admit, I do actually quite like him. I don't think he's the best defender, and he's always got a bit of a mistake in him, and he's a bit rash. But I just like his passion for United. I think you can tell that he loves playing for United, to be honest.
I think he's a terrible left back, and I think at times he does let himself down a bit. But you know, Mourinho has improved him a massive amount, and he's also been out with injury for a long time. So I think that consistency needs to come back into his game. Which again, as we were talking about Lindelof and Shaw, there you're only going to get that with game time.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at towards the end of last season, Rojo was phenomenal. Don't know what Mourinho had done to him, but he just looked like a completely different player, and it's a shame about his injury, really. Hopefully he gets back to that player, because I thought he was fantastic towards the end of last season, and I can imagine him being an absolute nightmare to play against as a striker.
Apologies to everybody who can hear my son in the background. He's in the kitchen, which is actually quite far away, but he likes shouting, so it's echoing through. He'll be going to bed shortly, don't worry. We're not playing that bad. It's not an indication of how bad we're playing either. Phil Jones is going to hit one from distance. I must admit, I hate that. I saw Matic doing it at the ground on Saturday. You know, 35 yards, and we're shooting. I just don't get it. I mean, you very rarely see those go in the back of the net. And as Callum Hacks just said there, what is Phil Jones doing taking that shot? And it's you know, Matic can actually hit them, but didn't hit them that well. But yeah, it's just a waste. It's a total waste. You know, play a few sideways passes and work it. Don't go hitting 30-yard shots, 35-yard shots from there.
Wait till we get a corner, he'll be taking it.
Yeah. Well, Phil Jones at the moment is very important, because we know how injured he gets. And actually, if he was injured at the moment, well, then again, I suppose we could play Twansibi, which would be nice. But
yeah, I like Twansibi. I do like Twansibi. I think he's one for the future. Hopefully he gets given chances, because I think he's a great talent. Every time he's played, he's looked really good.
Might be a booking here for Michael Keane. It was quite late. Lingard actually doing what he's good at there, just driving forward and chops down. But I think I don't know what he did. Seemed to hurt his head, but. No, I don't think it is a booking, but it's a foul for Manchester United. Not a great position, because it's not a shootable free kick. It's probably about 40 yards out. Maybe Phil Jones will hit it, but we we're not really a team where we can put balls into the box. We've got nobody who's going to be any good in the air.
No, we haven't. Boye obviously is a threat when he's back, but Matic is tall, but
although Rojo got on the end of it there.
Yeah, Matic is obviously tall as well, and he could be a threat. But other than that, we haven't really got from set pieces. I don't think we're the biggest threat. With Lukaku in there, obviously it's different. Pogba as well. We just don't seem to score a lot of set pieces, do we?
No, we're terrible at it. I mean, it's one. I mean, I like Chris Smalling, and he's the one of the reasons I like Chris Smalling, because he's comfortably our best player in the air, and I think he's a threat from corners. And he's on the bench today though, Smalling. So it's good that he's back so quick, because it was only the Leicester game where he obviously did that groin thing. So just over a week, and he's back on the bench, which is good. I think he's been really, really good for us this season. And with
I just get a bit nervous when Smalling's got the ball on the floor. I just don't think he's the best. The ball at his feet, but I think aerially he's, like you say, our best player.
There's Martial down the left. Not created anything at the moment, but Luke Shaw into Martial. Oh, why is nobody attacking that area there? It's a good cross by Martial across the 6-yard box. Pickford can't really deal with it. He stretches his hand out, but there's no United players attacking it. They're all sort of hanging back on the penalty box, but penalty spot. But you know, there's Mata, Herrera, Pogba, nobody making that run, which is a shame. But we're more. Well, Everton aren't creating anything really. It's United just trying to pick Everton open at the moment. This is the problem with an Allardyce team, really. Yeah,
Pogba's trying to pull the strings, playing some of his long balls, which he's so good at. But why is no one in the box for that ball? I've just watched it back again. That's where Lukaku probably would have been.
I feel there's a big chance coming for United. We're sort of probing on it, and we've certainly got those sort of players like the Matas and the Pogbas to create something in tight spaces.
Definitely. I think Lukaku being out is a big loss as well, especially for today's game. If we're going to have to play balls in between the lines like that and balls along the box, Lukaku would have been there for me.
Thanks.
Someone keeps asking what's my Instagram. I'm not on Instagram. I'm only on Twitter @SophRicho. Where's the Pogba we saw at Juventus? The Pogba at Juventus was further forward. He had more of a free role. I think that's what Mourinho's tried today. He's tried to play him a bit more of that free role, so he gets forward a lot more.
I think the criticism of Pogba is fair at the moment. Only in the last 3 games. I thought in November he was fantastic before the suspension, and I think in September he was really good as well. But I think over the last 3 games he's reminded me of the Pogba of last year, where he's not totally useless, but there's an element of I don't know, his game can look a little bit lazy at the moment, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, because he has been really good this season, but the last 3 games have reminded me a lot of the of what he was like last year, and I don't know, maybe he's carrying a bit of injury. I don't know what it is. There's something not quite right about his game at the moment, though.
Yeah, since he's come back from that suspension, really. I mean, in that game against Arsenal, I thought he was player of the match, to be honest. I thought he was fantastic. Superb. He was fantastic, and then since he's come back, he just hasn't seemed to get back in the swing of it yet. But for me, you can't doubt his talent, but he can't do it on his own. At the end of the day, if people aren't performing around him, then he's not going to be able to obviously carry everyone. And I do think the captain's armband has obviously hindered him a little bit as well.
George Kyle says that Mark's getting jealous of all the requests for Sophie's Twitter. George is just a little wind-up merchant. But you can follow me on Twitter as well if you like. I'm at Goldbridge. I'm sure you're all queuing up to do it. I'll just be happy if United win this game. That's you know, mate, I'm all about fan opinion, and if people want to follow Sophie and get hers, that's absolutely fine. I thought you'd threaded him in there. I mean, my concern is this in this game is what I've always said, is we're playing an Allardyce team and they are defensively well suited, and obviously I think if you had to bet your mortgage on a result today, your probably safest one, as I said before kick-off, was 0-0 or 1-1. And that's the issue that United have got. And I just don't know. I mean, if this ended now, Sophie, 0-0, and this was the 90th minute, you can't say United have played badly. We've not created enough, but
yeah, we haven't played badly. It's just, I don't know. I want us to bounce back. I think this is one of them games where if you get one goal, it just changes the whole dimension. And at the minute, it's a bit scrappy, really.
I think it was intelligent to play Herrera. I know he's not been playing that well recently, and maybe that's something to do with not signing a new contract or whatever. But the one thing about Herrera is I think he finds it impossible not to give his all. And I think that's the sort of player you definitely need after a result like Southampton. Is we need effort, and obviously you were impressed with Mata, and I think everybody was on Saturday. And that's two players straight away where you're going to get your all. And Lindelof is a player like that as well. Rojo, he's definitely gone with a lot of players today who are committed players in the hope that will spur us on. Paul Corcoran's made a contribution. Thanks, Paul. He says Barco is a great number 10 in the Argentine league. We never buy directly from places like Brazil or Argentina, though. I know we did with Hernandez from the Mexican league, but we never do that directly.
Speaking of Brazilian, what do you think about Andres Pereira? Can you see him coming back?
Apparently he doesn't want to come back. Thanks for the contribution, Christian Carpenter. Apparently he doesn't want to come back. I mean, at the moment, I think we lack creativity, and he's a creative player, and he can take crosses as well. Yeah.
I like him, but I just can't see him. I can't really see him playing a game for us, which is sad because I actually really rate him.
No, I mean, I don't know how long you've been watching the United stand, but for a long time I've been on about Pereira. I think he's a fantastic talent, and I think when he went on loan, there was something about that loan deal that I just thought, that's it. I never understood why he was going back to Spain when he's already proved himself in Spain for a start. I thought if he was going to be staying in the Premier League, we would do what we've done. Ooh, Herrera just over the bar then. We would loan him to a Premier League club so he can, he's already done the Spanish league, so there's no point in him going to Spain again and doing another year there. I felt that if we were loaning him and he was going to be staying, you'd put him out to somewhere like Bournemouth and let him have a year in the Premier League. So I just get the feeling that Pereira's probably finished at United, and that's a shame.
Yeah, I feel the same. I think he'll probably play in La Liga, to be honest, and yeah, I think he'll be phenomenal. Obviously, he's still young at the minute, but he's got that talent, and I can see him being a really good player, and I think we'll regret it. I just don't want another Pogba situation.
I know we don't work on corners in training, but we clearly don't work on long shots as well. That's what somebody just said. I mean, we've had a few long shots today. This game so far is just very reflective of playing the Sam Allardyce team. I mean, I'm old enough to remember his Bolton teams and all his other teams, and it's very like that. It's almost, you feel it's going to be 0-0, but I'll guarantee you if they get a free kick around the edge of the box that they can throw into the mixer, or they catch you on the break slightly, they're a threat, and they're very hard to break down as well. Forest Fan 11 says, what about Ben Osborne from Forest? He's quality. Thanks for the contribution. I don't know. I know I'm apparently a Forest fan, but I don't actually watch any Forest games, so I don't know who Osborne is or how good he is or whether it's just a wind-up. So, but thanks for the contribution. But on that point, again, you get very rarely that a top 4 side would sign a Championship player now, or anyone from the lower divisions. It just doesn't happen. Yeah,
it doesn't. Obviously, we've been linked with that kid from Fulham, haven't we? Quite a few times. A lot of teams have been linked with him. Spurs, I know, we're watching him as well.
Ryan Sessegnon, yeah.
Yes, it's Sessegnon, but yeah, it doesn't really happen, does it, very often? Wolves as well, obviously, have had a few signings this year, a few talented players, and yeah, it just doesn't seem to be the done thing now to be linked with Championship players. I mean, if you look where Ali came from, Dele Alli came from the lower leagues, obviously.
Yeah, MK Dons, yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, it just seems a rare occurrence now, which is a shame, isn't it? We seem to be looking abroad, really, rather than within our own country.
Christian Carpenter says, do you think instead of using the January window, we'll just get our loan players back? Thanks for that contribution, Christian. Fosu Mensah was man of the match yesterday against Manchester City. I mean, Sophie, you were talking about that game yourself. Had Sane in his pocket and genuinely was man of the match. He was given it as well. Very impressed by Fosu. I'd like Fosu Mensah to be in a United shirt next week, because what disgusted me from the Southampton game was the lack of effort by the players. And every time I've seen Fosu Mensah, yes, he's not the finished project yet, but you definitely see he's hungry, he flies into tackles, he's aggressive, and he's got loads and loads of effort. So I'd love to see Fosu Mensah back at United playing, but I think he will probably, based on his performance yesterday, he'll end up staying at a decent shot from Pogba there, just wide. He'll probably end up staying at Palace for the full season because he's going to play a lot of games there. So Pereira, we've just discussed. I don't think he's going to come back either. I tell you what, it's a shame that Pogba shot, because it did actually go off the Everton player's knee, and it was going pretty close anyway. So he obviously has been there for long shot training day, but we're going to shoot long again, straight into the player there. So 8 minutes away from half time. Interested to get some of your comments on the live comments, what you're thinking of the game so far. I know not everyone's able to watch it, and we can certainly give our thoughts in a minute, but I'd be interested to see what everyone else thinks as Balassi skips past Rojo, cross comes in, and United will get it cleared. But yeah, we're approaching that half-time period, and it's
pretty equal, really. I think we've grown into the game, but yeah, it's been a bit of a scrappy game. Everton,
here's an interesting point for you, Sophie. Sartax just said, do you regret selling Rooney? And I was speaking to Flex today, and I said to him, look, try and grab an Everton fan for a fan cam, because I'd love to know what they think about Rooney. Because I'd heard from an Everton fan that they think Rooney's crap, and he's a bit of a stat padder. He scores a lot of goals, but actually his contribution in games is poor. I've not really noticed Rooney in this game at all. So I would not have wanted to keep Rooney at Manchester United. I felt he'd finished. Here we go, get the shot away. Oh, yeah. So I don't know what your thoughts on Rooney are, Sophie, but I think Rooney was finished for a long time at United, and I certainly wouldn't want him to have stayed for another year.
I absolutely love Wayne Rooney, but yeah, I mean, it upset me, to be fair. I was a bit gutted, but I've got to admit that yeah, he was on his way out, to be honest, and I think his legs had gone, and it was a shame to see it. But I think he peaked really early, Wayne Rooney, and I'm glad he went back to Everton. I think that move was always in the pipeline. But yeah, I think he went at the right time. I think his legs are gone, and he's not obviously the player that he was. For me, he's a legend. I love Wayne Rooney, but yeah, I think he went at the right time. Personally, I think.
Yeah. Tommy Herald says Rooney's been terrible this year. I mean, his stats are pretty good.
I was going to say he scores, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Don't jinx.
But he was doing that at United, to be fair, wasn't he? Because I mean, obviously,
yeah,
like you just said there, I mean, Rooney is a legend at Manchester United, and there's a lot of, especially when he was here, but even still now, there's a lot of United fans who just won't have a bad word said against him, and but he was like that at United the last 3 years. He as bad as he was at times, he was always contributing with the goals, and it was sort of like difficult to sort of say anything bad about him sometimes on these shows, because everyone, he scored a goal, but it's not. Well, for me, it's not all about scoring goals. You've got to do other things as well. But I'm with you. I was really excited when he went to Everton, because I wanted to see him at another club in the Premier League, and obviously he started out at Everton. I didn't want to see him go into the MLS or China, because I don't think he was washed up. I just think he was, he's not a top level player anymore, but I certainly think he's a mid-table sort of player. So it's good that he's stayed on. I mean, I still think he should make himself available for England. I think.
Definitely, I wouldn't have ruled it out. Decent. I wouldn't have ruled it out. Obviously, Harry Kane is the best striker at England at the minute, flying. But yeah, Rooney for me shouldn't have retired so early. I think he's still got, for me, he's still a very clever player. He's still obviously got the ability. It's just more of his legs have gone, really. His pace had gone, which obviously hindered us in attack.
This game just needs a goal, and preferably from United, because. Lingard there, good running. I suppose he's earned the right to take the shot, but I probably would have given it Martial, because he's literally waiting on the edge of the box there, and it's on his right foot. Just feed it Martial there, but shot wide. But I think if the game follows this pattern, and I'm going to go through some of the live comments now and see what people say, but Paul Corcoran again, thanks Paul. He says Mourinho is the only man capable of restoring United and the only man I would trust to do the job apart from Goldbridge. Yeah, I'm not in the frame unfortunately, but I think if the game follows this path, Sophie, it's either going to finish 0-0 or we're going to nick it, because I think defensively we look strong, and we are probing Everton without actually creating that chance yet.
Yeah, I think at least we're getting shots away. That's a positive. Just need to get a bit closer in, because other than Pogba and Matic probably, we haven't really got players who are going to score from outside the box. But at least we're being positive. We are starting to threaten a bit more now.
I mean, I've just read a comment there about Mourinho losing the dressing room. I don't pick that up from the effort from the players today. I think there's been a good effort from the players. There is Martial. Oh, come on, that's got to be a foul. Yes, book Rooney for that. Yeah, Martial was running at the back four there, and Rooney probably knows too well what Martial can do, and chops him down and takes the yellow card, which is a bit of a shame, but you never know. Might get another opportunity to do that, and Rooney won't be able to do that, or if he does, it'll be a red. So,
what do you feel about Chong? Obviously, from the youth setup.
Oh, a fantastic player. I mean, fantastic talent.
Awesome,
I mean, it's hard to say he's a fantastic player because he's not done it at the highest level yet. But I was really disappointed when he did his knee at the start of last year, and he's come back from that. But very, very exciting left-sided player, but can play anywhere among the front three. I think he's 18 now.
Yeah, I remember signing him, and I watched a few videos on him and stuff, and he looked impressive. But he just seems to get better and better at the minute.
I mean, everyone goes on about
He's been
Gomez.
injured, hasn't he?
Yeah, everyone goes on about Gomez, but my sort of player that I like are the Giggs, are the Bales, are the Martials, and Chong's that sort of player. He's a flair, he's a run at people sort of player, and he's already had one bad injury though. That's the problem, and injuries tend to be the problems that young players have. But he's got the physique, he's got the potential. I don't think we'll see him this year, but hopefully next year we'll start to see a little bit of him, because I think he can be really, really special.
Definitely. I think a positive though on his injury is obviously he was out for a while, and he seems to have come back even stronger. Seems to be in great form, so that's a positive to take from it, I guess.
Schneiderlin trying to get Lingard booked. It looks like we're going to go in 0-0 at half time anyway.
We need a goal in this game.
I don't know why Schneiderlin's trying to get Lingard booked for that. It was nothing.
Schneiderlin, do you think we were right to get rid of him? Should we have signed him in the first place?
I thought he was atrocious at United, and I've not really seen much better since he's been at Everton, to be honest. When we signed him, I must admit there was part of me that was quite excited about it, and it was the same time, virtually the same day that we signed Schweinsteiger, but maybe my enthusiasm for Schweinsteiger took over with that. But again with Schneiderlin, I think you've got to look at yourself and say, it was on his watch that Fellaini was being picked as a centre defensive midfielder, and if you're a midfielder, centre defensive midfielder by trade, and Fellaini's been picked there ahead of you, you've got to take a long, hard look at yourself. And I just don't have any sympathy for him, to be honest. I think you had that great opportunity, and clearly it was too big for you.
Yeah, it didn't really take his chance, did he, in the United shirt? So yeah,
I mean, Memphis for me was Memphis was the one that disappointed me more, because I think although it was in the Dutch league, I think he had all the I was convinced he was going to be a great signing. I think he had all the attributes to be amazing, and I just think he believed his own hype, and he just wasn't willing to work for it, and it's a shame. But Schneiderlin never worked, did it really? No,
I had such high hopes for Memphis as well, but his attitude didn't seem right. Seemed a bit too like he thought he'd already made it. That's how he seemed, and it's a shame really, because he had talent.
Just on the players, losing the players, John Elliott says, Jose dissing players in interviews, players with confidence and being pure arrogant after games in talks. He's lost the players, in my opinion. I've got to be honest with that. I mean, I don't know what you think, Sophie, but I've always been I mean, look, I love Mourinho, but I love family members. It doesn't mean I don't disagree with them. So there is things that Mourinho's done that I disagree with. We are at half time now, but I've never liked the way he criticises players in the post-match interviews, whether it's Martial or Luke Shaw, and maybe that's because Sir Alex Ferguson never did it really. But that's Mourinho's style. He's always been like that.
Yeah, I mean, I do back Mourinho, but I do think there's things that he has done that I don't agree with, and his body language of late and stuff, he does not look happy, and whether that's because he's seeking backing from the board and he's trying to get his message across, I'm not really sure. But he's always been that arrogant Mourinho, and he'll always be that way. You're not going to change that.
What's your thoughts on the half, Sophie? Give us your thoughts.
I thought we've grown into it. We looked a bit more of a threat towards the end. I think Lingard is probably our best player at the minute, to be honest. I think he's been a good big threat. But yeah, I think a bit of a scrappy game, but we have grown into it and needs a goal really.
I tell you what, I think if we can nick a goal and win this 1-0, we'd be sat at the end of it going, what a great performance that was from United, because it's difficult. It's, you know, Everton are not doing much, even though they're the home team. Look, I've been around the block a lot in relation to football. I know a lot about a lot of clubs in the Premier League, and I know a lot about what their sort of style is. And I know a lot of Everton fans like football to be played a certain way. And I don't, you know, I'm sure they'll be grateful that Allardyce will keep them up, but I don't think Allardyce will be at Everton for long, because I don't think they'll like the style of football. And it's been a long time since I've seen United at Everton, and Everton not really offer anything going forward. They're a very defensive side, but that's what Allardyce does. They're not causing us any problems. That doesn't mean to say they won't. You know, give them a corner or a set piece and they might do, or if we're making a defensive mistake. And most of it's United against a well-organised Allardyce defence as usual. We are probing. We've not really created that chance yet, but I do think if we get that chance and we take it and we come away from 1-0, I think that we'll have to say what a good performance it's been. There's been a lot of effort from the players, a lot more effort than there was on Saturday, Sophie.
Yeah, definitely. I think the game has turned out how we predicted it really. Allardyce's team sitting in, being hard to break down, and it's more of us trying to keep the ball. And yeah, we're having too many shots from outside the box for my liking at the minute. We need to maybe keep the ball and be a bit more patient. But I can see us, yeah, we're growing into it. I can see us grabbing a goal, and hopefully, once we do get that goal, yeah, we'll settle. And I can't really see Everton causing us too much trouble. I don't want to jinx us and say, oh, Rooney's going to get a goal, but yeah, fingers crossed we grab that goal in the second half, and like you say, it'll be then deemed a good performance and a good result.
Somebody just said thanks for telling Mark about Tahith Chong, cheeky gets. I mean, do you not watch the United Stand? I've only been on about him for about 18 months. But in all seriousness, somebody just said then bring Rashford on. I find that one quite surprising. Would you bring Rashford on, and who would you be looking? I mean, we know he probably will bring Rashford on for Martial after about 65 minutes, in which case my confidence will just drop, because I don't have much confidence when Martial's not on the pitch. But I wouldn't be rushing to get Rashford on at the moment.
No, I think it's a bit early really to make that change. I think eventually, and if we're still struggling to break them down, then bring him on, but not yet.
Good. Martial should score to make a statement, says Kosi and Igbo. Well, he hasn't had a chance yet. Nobody's really had a shot on goal yet, apart from Lingard. Well, actually, I tell a lie. We've had a lot of long shots on goal, but we've not really created a chance yet. Herrera is dividing opinion. I'm going to get your opinion on this, Sophie, but Herrera is dividing a lot of opinion. Some people saying he's absolutely crap, and some people saying he's good. I mean, my thought on Herrera is that, yeah, he's not been great today. He's not been rubbish today. But as I said in that first half, what you get with Herrera is effort, and we definitely needed effort after Saturday.
Yeah, Herrera is obviously not in the form that he was last season, but I think it's hard to judge him straight away. He hasn't been given much game time. I like the fact he's getting on the ball a lot, and as you said, he obviously goes 100% no matter what with Herrera. He will always give his all, and I like him, and I think it's harsh to judge him so badly. And yeah, I think he's doing all right. I wouldn't say he's playing badly. I wouldn't say he's playing really well. He's doing okay. That would be my summary.
Apparently you are as well, Sophie, getting lots of good comments and feedback. Mad Marcus normally does the watch along with me, but he's not well at the moment, so he's going to be off for a few weeks. So we're going to mix it up with a few people. Obviously got Sophie with me today. I think Rodney's going to do it on Friday, and then we'll play it by ear from there. But I've already spoken to Sophie about potentially doing a bit of a Skype show once a week for us as well. So that would be a good opportunity to get a few different faces on the United stand. That's what we're looking at in 2018, New Year and all that. So, but United need to play ball with us as well. Liverpool joint with us at the moment. Obviously, if we get a point, we're a point ahead of them. But I think that makes me feel sick in itself. We were at 8 points clear of them 3 weeks ago, and now we might only be one. So we've got to win. I mean, we were speaking about this during the first few minutes, and again, let us know what you think at home. But is a draw a good result? Do you think fans will be ranting if we draw it based on the performance of today?
If I'm honest, fans will want to see a goal. I think after being held at home the other day as well, I think fans will want to see a goal at least. I think we have played better than we did against Southampton, but for me we should still be trying to win this game. Because Everton aren't really throwing much at us, so I would want us to win this game, to be honest.
I think the problem with United is, and we spoke about it in the first half, is that too many long shots sort of portrays to me that we're not able to cut Everton apart, and no clear-cut chances, again, portrays the fact that we're not able to cut Everton apart. I think if you gave Man City or Liverpool all this possession, they probably would have had 4 or 5 shots on goal at the moment. And that is my criticism of United, is that as much as everyone goes, oh, Lingard, he's full of effort, this, that and the other, he's not David Silva, is he? He's not Mo Salah. Let's be honest. And would anybody put Lingard in their top 6 side apart from Manchester United? No, they wouldn't. And this is the problem with United at the moment. Lots of endeavour and lots of effort word, but where is the talent? Where is the ability to unlock that defence? And I think we're getting lost on effort again. It's the main reason people started jumping on the Fellaini bandwagon, because he puts a lot of effort in. And effort's great, but we need the talent. And in that whole half, we've not cut Everton open once. And I think the top sides in this league at the moment do.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't hate Jesse Lingard, and people seem to think I do because I mentioned him the other day. But realistically, if he's our best player, that's worrying. Because, like you say, he would not get into a City team or a Chelsea team. And as much as effort is important, and we want to see a bit of passion and a bit of fight from our players, talent obviously goes a long way as well. Yeah. And we're just lacking that flair and creativity at the minute to break down teams like this.
Yeah, I agree. And Lingard got us a point against Burnley, and fair play to him. And he probably is our form player at the moment. But I think I've mentioned the word ruthless and aggressive. Aggressive in relation to the transfer window is what I think we need to be, and ruthless in relation to the current squad is what I think we need to be. And if I was being ruthless, there's a lot of players in that United starting 11 today that I would say, yeah, you've got lots of efforts, but you're just not good enough for what we need. And I continually look at United and I think we don't create enough chances, and you've got to look at why we don't create enough chances. And to be honest, let's not just level it at Lingard. Matter's on the pitch. Has he created anything? Pogba, these are players that should be able to create chances. And I think it's been a decent first half performance, and we've probed a lot. But I always bring it back to, well, this is a team that's meant to be finishing 2nd or 3rd in this league. And I already can name 4 teams that would probably have created 3 or 4 chances in that first half with the possession that they've had. And that's United's problem, which is exactly why we need to go in the transfer window.
Yeah, and I think playing players like Lingard and Mata, these are all players who obviously, and Martial, they like to cut in. We haven't got much width in our team, and that's why I feel we need a winger. I think in a game like today especially, we need to be able to get width in our play and get plenty of balls into the box. I know we haven't got Lukaku in there, but we need to create more chances from out wide, and we haven't got those players in our squad.
Somebody just said there, Lingard off, Mkhitaryan on. I think that sort of substitution is the sort of substitution that can end your career. Mkhitaryan was, you were at the ground, so if you correct me if I'm wrong, Mkhitaryan was cheered off on Saturday.
He literally was. He was awful. And when I saw the lineup and I saw Mkhitaryan was starting, I was praying that he was going to give us a good performance and basically stick 2 fingers up at Mourinho and say this is why I should be playing. But he was appalling. His distribution was just shocking.
Exactly. So if you take him off and he has another bad performance, I mean that's not good for Mourinho, is it? So again, we've got one attacking option on the bench, which is Rashford.
Yeah, the fact that he's put him in the squad though, Jose, he obviously has some faith in him, because of how bad he was on Saturday, I would not have been surprised if he didn't take him today. So he obviously must have some faith in Mickey, and maybe he will bring him on.
Sorry, I'm just cheekily sending a tweet out while you were talking there. Flex was just tweeted as well. He thinks that Rooney's going to grab the winner. Nothing like a bit of positivity. Lingard's played well. Pogba's been pretty decent, says Truth Teller. You know, I don't disagree with that. I think the performance of in that half from United hasn't been bad. But I think if we're ultra critical, we're just not created anything again. And I don't think this Everton team's very good. I watched them play against Liverpool a couple of weeks ago, and they did get a 1-1 draw. But Liverpool cut them open so many times. And, you know, at the end of the day, it's Ashley Williams and Michael Keane. You know, it's not bloody Costa Curta and Baresi. And we've not created enough chances in that half at all. I hate how many looks there are. Long shots there are. I mean, long shots to me are a sign of desperation, and we've had quite a few in that first half, which almost makes you feel that that's coming from the manager, Sophie.
Yeah, for me, they have obviously been told to get plenty of shots away, but is it a personnel thing that's the issue again? The fact that we haven't got wingers and we haven't got people who are going to beat a player and put a ball in, is that why we're struggling again? Because it's happening far too often now against teams who are defending against us, where we're not breaking them down.
Remember tonight, we normally do Skype Goldbridge at 8 o'clock, so what we're going to do tonight is we'll do the match reaction and then we'll open up the calls for about an hour and take some of your calls. So anything that's irritating you, and if it stays 0-0 or if it goes even worse, get calling in. Skype Goldbridge, all one word. That will be from about 7:30 tonight, so get involved with that. If you are new to the United Stand, make sure you subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Fantastic community we've got. We're live every night at 8 o'clock and also every morning at 7 o'clock throughout January with the Transfer Daily. Had the first one this morning and we'll be back again tomorrow with that. So lots going on. Fan cams will be going up from Goodison Park with Flex from about 9 o'clock tonight. It's going to be interesting to see what people have got to say who've trekked down to rainy Goodison, Liverpool. But the big thing for me, I said it before the game, was that what more motivation do you need than the fact that before you kick off, Liverpool are level with you on points, and we were 8 points clear of them 3 weeks ago. We need a real big kick up the backside, and I think we've been better, but I still don't think there's enough for a Manchester United shirt in that first half. There's still not enough desire and talent on the ball to create chances, and we need to see that in the second half.
Definitely, and like you say, this Everton team is not that good. So for me, we should be beating these today. I was expecting quite a comfortable performance. I know Everton away is never an easy game, but our 11 on that pitch should be beating Everton's 11, and we should have far too much going forwards against these. I
agree. Let's have a look what people are saying on the live comments. If I can just get back to my live comments screen. There it is. We need to do more with the possession we have, says Kieran Byrne. If we have more quality in the final third in the second half, we'll win this. I agree. I agree. I think if you stuck, you know, we were talking about them in the first half, and whether you'd want them at United or not, I think they're better than what we currently have. And I think if you stuck a Mahrez or an Ozil into that final third for United, then we probably would create more, because that is what we're missing. We're missing them sort of creative players. And again, you know, stick a De Bruyne in there, or even or a Mo Salah or someone like that, and United probably would create more. I think that's the big area for United for me at the moment, is that we just don't have that real quality in the final third of the pitch, and it's causing us problems.
I don't think we have enough risk taken. I think we're always playing the safe pass. We're always playing sideways. We look too apprehensive on the ball, and whether that's from Jose, I'm not really sure, but we just seem to lack that risk factor. I mean, I was watching the City game yesterday, and Zaha, and I tweeted about it actually, the way that he runs at players is fearless. He doesn't slow down, and we don't have anybody who does that. Martial is probably the closest player to doing that for us.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are sort of agreeing with you and saying, oh, it's the manager's tactics, he doesn't let them run freely, this, that and the other. But I don't necessarily agree with that, because Mourinho likes to set his teams up defensively sound, and that's fine, but it would be counterproductive that when you've got the ball to then not be progressive with it. And I look back on Mourinho's teams, and they've never, you know, the Chelsea early teams, the Chelsea team that he won the league with, certainly the Real Madrid teams, maybe Inter Milan not so much, because but certainly when they were playing in Serie A they were very progressive. So, you know, he's not in an offensive way, he's not a boring manager. He sets his teams up when they've not got the ball to be very, very hard to break down, but he certainly doesn't set them up to not be progressive and score goals. I personally just think it's all about, for United, the personnel that he's got. I'd love to have a conversation with Mourinho, as I'm sure we all would, but I'd love to get an honest answer to this question. How many players would you change if you could in that United 11? That's the one question I would ask him, and I'd want the honest answer. Because I predict he wouldn't be far off 7.
Well, yeah, we mentioned earlier, like, how many players has he signed who are playing at the minute? It's not that many, is it, out of our team? And I'm sure that's why I think he should be given more time, because I'm sure he'd like to strengthen even more and make the team more of his own team.
I'd love it, and we'll never ever get it, because obviously it would undermine the club and the board for not giving him the players that he wants. But I'd love to ask him, how many players would you change from the squad that you've got in your starting 11? And I think he'd have Pogba in there. I think he'd have Matic in there. I think he'd have De Gea in there. He'd probably have Lukaku in there. But obviously Bailly. So, you know. But apart from that, I think he'd be looking at 6 or 7 signings. Yeah,
I agree. It's just whether the board are going to back him, really, isn't it? And he's going to be given the chance. If we slip out of top 4, I think at the end of the season he will either leave by his own accord, he'll walk, or something will change. I can't really see him saying next season if we keep carrying on the way we're going.
Well, if PSG really do want Mourinho, then that causes a problem for United if they're not going to back him, because he knows he can go to PSG and have an open checkbook, and you know, basically he's definitely going to win the league every year, and you've got a decent shout at the Champions League. So, and a far easier life, because the Premier League is obviously very competitive, but we've also got the worst media in the world that scrutinise your every move. So,
especially Mourinho,
and he'd earn more money at PSG as well. So, thanks for the contribution, Withy. If we draw this game, we won't be on the same points as Liverpool. We'll be 1 point ahead with the same games played, but I still think that's unacceptable. So we need to win it. I just wonder whether Mourinho might think a point's not a bad point. I don't know.
Well, playing against the Big Sam team, obviously it's never easy, but I just think we need a win today for our momentum more than anything. I think we're lacking confidence, and I think we need that. We need 3 points today.
Mata just had a shot from the edge of the box, and keeper tipped it over. I mean, I was about to say, oh God, not another long shot, because I think it's never going to go in, to be fair.
Yeah, I think Mata and Pogba are probably the two that you would want to shoot from outside the box.
Corner for United, I would not expect us to be scoring a corner on any occasion, but certainly not today, when we've got very little to cause them any problems.
Who's going to take it today? Would it be Martial again? Mata?
I think Mata just took that one, yeah.
Yeah.
Man United fans says we've got to get 3 points. Bill William, yeah, we need to win. Evening, everyone, says Pack 93. And Everton have cleared the cross. And Rojo. I'm getting a bit sick of that. Stupid shots from 40 yards out. Rojo again.
Like yourself, it's like the Jose's told them to.
Wow. Just a waste of possession, that is. Bastian Johnson says he's late. How's the game going so far? Let him know.
Pretty, I wouldn't say boring, but too many long shots from United, struggling to break Everton down. Everton, as we expected, really defensive, not really attacking us. So yeah, just usual story for United at the minute, not creating much.
Friend 2018 says it's getting that old Moyes, Van Gaal feeling.
I think, obviously, think about when we played here last season, when Zlatan scored that lob, didn't he? And then Fellaini came on and conceded the penalty. We don't want that happening again, that situation.
I mean, this is a really good question from Arthur LA. He says, why aren't we playing like we did at the start of the season? Wrong formation, question mark. I mean, let's remember the start of the season where we were, scoring 3-4 goals a game and, creating lots and lots of chances. And the personnel isn't that different, to be fair. So,
We were flying, weren't we? Start of the season, scoring like goals for fun. We were scoring 4 goals a game at the start of the season, but I think City being so far ahead, and when we lost at City, I think since then we haven't really bounced back. It's almost as if the players have kind of thought, you know what, City have won the league, let's give up. That's how it feels to me.
We're getting a lot of the ball at the moment around the edge of the penalty box of Everton, but we just look like we always look one pass away from moving it and clueless as to how to break them down, and that was pretty much the case in the first half. Lots and lots of the ball, but
yeah, we look a bit predictable. We don't know what to do when a team boxes in like Everton have done now.
Yeah, we just look out of ideas, and to be honest, it's totally set up for Everton to sort of hit us on the break.
Yeah.
Play like crabs, says Quiggs.
Yep. We set them in long shots because we can't pass through anyone. I agree. I think against Southampton, being there, you could see evidently there was literally Lingard and Mata who were running between the lines. Other than that, we were far too static. And I think that's the issue with us. And that's the difference between us and City at the minute, is the movement off the ball. We just look too static and predictable.
I mean,
nobody's taking a risk. John
Everton
says.
are shocking for a home team, aren't they? Really, though. I mean,
they're literally not trying to attack at all.
I mean, Everton have been a real firm staple of my life as a football fan. Everton have always been there, and they don't win things, but they're always a tough place to go to. And that's a good shot by Mata. It was, oh god, unbelievable! It's the post. That's how you get a long shot. Yeah,
Mata's getting more into it this half though, which is good.
Keeper's beating all hands up there, and it's a shame. So close. Good shot by Mata. That hits the post. But yeah, I mean, going back to Everton, they've always been quite a decent side as well in the way they play their football, and Goodison's always been a bit of an inferno sort of atmosphere ground, and Allardyce has obviously saved them from being relegation threatened, but I can't see Everton fans putting up for this long. I mean, they offer absolutely nothing going forward. It must be very hard for the Everton faithful to adjust to this style of football, because it's just poor, such a poor.
Especially when normally going to Goodison Park, you expect it to be rocking, the play to be fearless, and they're just a different team now, aren't they? Different prospects.
Well, it's just defence against attack, isn't it? And the attack is the away side.
Definitely. But I think Mata getting on the ball and obviously threatening a lot more in this half is good. First half he was a bit quiet, really. We need Pogba on it more as well.
Best game, it says Everton haven't even tested De Gea, so how are we not ahead? Because we're unable to break Everton down. I think as bad as we've been at long shots, as we saw with that Mata one there, it's the best way of us scoring at the moment is to get as close as we can to their box and shoot from distance, because we've not carved them open once.
Definitely. And Rashford coming on in this game, would it change it too much, do you think, because of how Everton are lining up? I'm not sure Rashford on would change it that much. Mkhitaryan obviously is another option as well.
I wouldn't be looking at Rashford coming on for Martial. I think I'd be looking at a formation change that allows you to get 2 people in the box.
Yeah, I agree. There seems to be something missing when we attack. I don't know what it is, but we just lack ideas massively. Rashford's been concerning me over the last few games, though he hasn't really looked that interested.
I think he's desperately in need of a rest. That was a good cross in from Luke Shaw there.
Yeah, from Shaw, yeah.
Unfortunately, it was Herrera coming in on it, who's obviously not known for his finishing in the 6-yard box, but it was good play by Luke Shaw. And a lot of people were on about Luke Shaw at half-time, saying what a great first half he'd had. I mean, I think the fact that I haven't really noticed, I mean, he's had a good game, but I haven't really noticed him having an amazing game, but that doesn't mean he hasn't had one. I think he's obviously been doing his job very well. Yeah,
and plus Everton haven't really attacked us, so I don't think he's had that much to do, really. But Ross would be happy because he's actually got a cross into the box.
Yes, yes. Well, Ross wasn't impressed with him against the Southampton game. I don't think he was terrible. I think, the thing about Luke Shaw is he's been out for so long. The fact that he's playing all these games is great, because my concern with Luke Shaw was always injury. Picking up injuries and stuff, and he's been fit for about 4 months now. And I know he's not been playing, but he has been training a lot, and now he's playing lots of games. And it's exactly what he needs. Good play there with Lingard and Pogba into the box. Oh, we are starting to.
We're looking more threatening this half.
Cause
Definitely.
Issues.
Definitely.
I'm just going to leave you to it for a minute, so I'm just going to pop off a quick toilet break.
No problem. So close. They're literally parking the buzz against us, and we need to start passing the ball quickly. Shaw needs to get forward a bit more for me, because he's such a good threat going forward, and obviously we haven't got Valencia today going forward, so we need that from our fullback. I think Pogba needs to get on it a bit more as well. I'd rather watch cricket, says Alex Hunter. That did make me laugh the other day on the fan cam. Do we need a new number 9, as well as a 10 and a winger? I'm not sure, because I think if we get a winger and we get balls into the box, I think Lukaku will thrive on that, and I think we'll see the best side of Lukaku if we get a winger. So I don't think we need a new number 9 as well. But obviously, I do think Zlatan is on his way out, so yeah, maybe a backup, but I don't think we need somebody to replace Lukaku. Everton are so poor. Yeah, Everton are literally not attacking us at all, which is why I think we need a win today. I believe that a draw will not be good enough, and I think we need 3 points. Sophie, who would you have in the midfield? That's what Kevin has asked me. In terms of a new signing, I'm not really too sure, to be fair. I think Pogba, Matic, I'll go for someone like Ozil maybe, attacking midfielder. Dybala would be my ideal signing overall, I think. We're looking more threatening in this half. We just need to be a bit more confident, take more risks with our play, I think. Jose or Ancelotti? I'm still Jose in, however, I do feel that tactics need to change a little bit. Our style of play isn't impressing me, we're too slow, but I do think personnel is hindering that as well. I think we need more, maybe a winger, and yeah, a bit more flair players in our team. So I'm still Jose in, but I do think things need to change. I'm not satisfied with how we are playing. Who would be a dream signing or the most ideal transfer this window? Perisic would probably be my ideal, or someone like Mahrez. I think Mahrez is more...
Bloody typical, I've just missed a bloody goal.
Yeah, we scored. Martial.
Oh, well, maybe that's what I should be doing in the new year, but Martial has scored. I'm just watching the playback. Mata, out wide, Pogba, little slip cross, Martial, deadly. Back of the net, 1-0. We've done it, we've broken the deadlock.
Finish as well. And it was a shot from outside the box.
Oh, I can't believe I missed it. Mr. Deadly.
It was a bit delayed on mine as well. We said he would score.
Yeah, well, I think he's still in my fantasy football team as well, which is obviously secondary to the fact that Manchester United have gone ahead. But we've got that goal in the game that we needed, because Everton have offered absolutely nothing going forward, and finally breaking them down 56 minutes in. Hopefully it will open it up a little bit now, because I think we've deserved that goal. I think we've probed and probed and probed, and eventually we've created the chance, and I wouldn't want anybody else to score other than Martial, because I think it just gives him that boost up front, and just again shows Mourinho that we should really, in an attacking sense, be building our side around him. Fantastic player.
Great finish as well. I think Martial is one of those players, like last season, obviously it was a bit of an off season for him. The season before that, when he was playing consistently, he was fantastic. And yeah, we just need to he needs that belief in him, he needs confidence in him, and he'll thrive on that.
Definitely. And well, to be honest, I mean, Mourinho would normally be looking to take him off in 10 minutes for Rashford, so I hope that's an indicator.
Rashford's warming up, so
that he keeps him on.
Yeah.
Good turn by Pogba now. Well, hopefully, get the second goal done and kill it off. Oh, ref's just been poleaxed by Pogba now. Ref gives us a foul on the Everton player, which is Watch. Lovely goal, Martial. He needed that, says David Logan. Rashford needs to come on to stretch the defence as unknown ghost. Yeah, I wouldn't bring Rashford on for Martial. And
I'd agree with that. I'd keep Martial on.
Yeah, you could always take Lingard off and put Martial on the left.
Or maybe I'll bring Matic off.
Yes. The ref
Game's
just
getting
got
a bit
floored
more
by
open now.
Pogba, yeah.
Yellow card.
Well, the one thing I will say is this, no matter what happens in this game, and as much as we deserve to be in front, and as much as Everton have offered absolutely nothing, it wasn't that long ago that we threw away 2 points to Leicester.
Yep, that's my fear. I don't
in the
want us
last
to sit
minute,
back now.
so there'll be no counting our chickens yet. But United have seemed to be stretching Everton a bit now, because obviously Everton's game plan's gone out the window now. They can't just sit back. They've got to do something, and that should create more space for United. Matthew McFadden says the ref should book himself for that shocking dive. Yeah, it was a bit bad.
Definitely. I wouldn't like to be knocked over by Pogba, to be fair.
Pogba next to score. Somebody there. RG Football always says don't take Martial off.
I think the fear is, and Jose does it a lot, when we get a goal, he makes changes and we start to turn a bit defensive. I think we need to keep attacking.
Yeah,
the game will become more stretched, and that'll suit us.
That's a really good point, actually. We do tend to do that a lot, and if we do that today, it would be really stupid. It'd be really stupid because Everton have not had any attack at all. For us to sit back and let them attack us would be, suicide in many ways.
Yeah. Someone just said, "Where's Ross Barkley?" It's a good question. What has happened with Ross Barkley?
Well, I thought he was back fit now, but he's not signed a new contract, and I thought United were going to score again there. I'd take him at United, but I presume he's not quite back fit yet.
Yeah, I presume so. I'd take him. I think he's a great talent, but obviously he's had a lot of contract issues and stuff going on at Everton. Which is a shame.
Has that gone out? Oh, no, it wasn't. I'm sure somebody in the live comments will know what's happening with Ross Barkley. That's what I do when I haven't got a clue.
The last I heard, Allardyce said his future is basically up to him.
George Kyle says, if we drop this again, I'll kill someone.
Surely we can't drop it again. Pogba with a nice little flick there.
Rojo's down injured at the moment. Aaron Lennon's come on for Everton, which is obviously a bit of an attacking move. DSTV says Lindelof's done well for himself. United love Martial, and Pogba looks better as a number 10, says DJ Cahill. Well, Pogba's definitely improved since the last his performances in the last 2 or 3 games haven't been that good, but today's he's been a lot better. And Chad says that Barkley's is not fully fit yet.
Oh, cool. Yeah, Pogba has looked better today. Got on the ball a lot more and higher up the pitch is where you need him because he's such a creative threat. And yeah, he's the one really who starts our attacks off. So I think him being further forward has helped us a lot today as well.
Rooney's gone off for Everton. They brought McCarthy and Lennon on for Balassi and Rooney. And
Flex's prediction's not going to work then.
No, thank God. Yours is still on 2-0.
It is.
I think if we get the second goal, that'll be it. And to be honest with you, half an hour to go. The way we're playing, we should be looking to get the second goal in this and killing it off. I think if it stays 1-0, you just know what's going to happen in the last 5 minutes. He will park the bus, we will invite them on, and we probably will let a goal in.
Yeah, and obviously Everton are going for it a bit more now.
Oh, Luke Shaw there with the Megs. Pogba into the box. Finish it off. Oh, went for glory. Pickford tips it over. But we're knocking on the door of 2-0. I think if we get 2-0, the Megs
I just don't want us to sit back. I literally, that's my fear. Don't sit back if we go ahead. Attack is the best form of defence, especially for us defensively at the minute.
Upset a lot of people if we win this today as well. There'll be a lot of Liverpool fans expecting us not to win this today, and we need to start building to get back into that second place position. I can't believe we gave it up so weakly, to be honest, but we don't want to drop any further than third.
Yeah, we're lucky really that we were so far ahead in second because of the results that we've had recently. But yeah, we're definitely looking over our shoulders now. Pogba's playing well in this half, showboating a little bit. Mark, if Mourinho takes out Martial, I'll be furious. I think you should leave him on.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he did, though.
No. I think Martial would be furious as well.
Here is Martial. Oh, nearly put it onto Pogba's head. So close. We're so close to knocking in this second goal, and I think if we do that, as I said, it'll be game over, but not quite yet.
Someone just asked me about James Wilson, saying he's not getting a sniff. Should we just get rid of him? He had a bad injury, didn't he, Wilson? He was a bit unlucky. I can't see him really getting a sniff back in the first team.
He was. I think he was named in the Champions League squad for some reason.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
But no, he's not. I mean, I've been quite consistent about James Wilson. I don't see him having a future at Manchester United, but I know a lot of people would like him to have one, and thought that he might have one because of that naming in the Champions League squad. But I think it's just because you can name youth players in there. But
I just can't see him getting a sniff, to be honest. With Lukaku obviously being signed as well, I just can't see him getting a game. Everton are so poor.
Well, I agree. It's all United at the moment. It's just whether we can kill this game off, because I think 2-0 will kill it off. And that's what we should be looking to do. I mean, going back to the start of the season, this is quite reminiscent. You get the first goal, and then Everton, the opposition, have to come out a bit, and in the last 20 minutes, we'd go and get 2 or 3 more and just totally kill it off. So it'd be nice to turn the new year and get back to what we were like last year.
Yeah, definitely. Someone's just asked about Cameron Borthwick-Jackson as well. He went to Wolves, didn't he, on loan? Didn't really play there.
Yeah, I think he's another one that's probably not going to do it, to be honest.
I never really thought he was good enough, if I'm honest. I mean, he had a few good games and he had a wicked left foot, but I don't think he's good enough to play for Man United. He's not as good as Luke Shaw.
I think Luke Shaw's just getting better and better with game time.
Yeah, he's getting fitter, isn't he? People think that Matic is looking tired as well. And Mata has just been commented saying he looks tired. I think Matic looked tired against Southampton. He didn't look as secure as he normally does. Buffal was getting a lot of joy in behind him. Purple Shamrock said, did Young get banned for the elbow last game? Yeah, he did. The little elbow on Tadic.
I think we'll see Martial coming on. Not Martial, Rashford coming on soon.
Hopefully not for Martial.
Yeah, the question's just going to be who for.
Would you take Zaha back at United, Mark?
I've always said no, to be honest. But I've got to admit his form over the last while for Palace has been very good.
I think he's improved a lot, and he literally is carrying Palace at the minute. Yesterday against City he was phenomenal at times. I don't know if I'd take him back at United, but I do think that he has improved a lot. He's the kind of player I think that we need, though. It's just his consistency worries me.
Yeah, I don't know whether he's worked on that, to be fair, because I think there's a lot of people mentioning him as a potential United player now, but I do certainly think that I remember when we played them in the FA Cup final as well, and he was just, like you say, quite inconsistent, especially with his final ball.
Yeah.
And whether he had that maturity, but there's a lot of people talking about. I mean, I don't think he will come back to United. I know we brought Pogba back, but I doubt we'd bring Sahar back because Pogba's a world class player, and I'm not, I think there's a.
Well, City were linked with him, weren't they? I'd be worried if he went to City and he was outstanding. But
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't really rate Sterling that much, but you can see what a player can do in a top side. So
Sterling's been good this season, though, as much as I don't like him.
Yeah.
He's had some important goals.
It's 20 minutes to go.
We need another goal. Tammy Abraham, his name's being battered around in the live comments as well. What are your feelings about him? I think he's talented. I wouldn't say I'd have him at United, but I do think he's a talent.
I think he's a Chelsea player as well, isn't he, officially?
Yeah,
so,
yeah, he is.
I mean, we can talk about whether we'd have him, but I think ultimately we wouldn't get him anyway because I don't think Chelsea would want to give us another player of theirs. But Everton are starting to now create opportunities, which would be bloody typical considering we've had so much of the ball ourselves. But good play by Shaw again, who is only enhancing his reputation in this game as having a good game, because he's definitely had a good game.
Yeah, he's probably been player of the match, I think, this game. Second half has been impressive. It's been more of a threat in the second half going forwards as well. Champion Herb says we need to keep attacking. I agree with that. I think the more we sit back, the more we look vulnerable. They just nearly scored, Everton.
Well, at 70 minutes, I would expect to see a substitution from United at some point, and I think this substitution is going to be quite significant because it's either going to give Everton a real boost that we're going to park the bus, or it's going to continue in the way we're going.
Yeah, Kieran just said, do you think that Luke Shaw will go to the World Cup? I think if he keeps being given game time, then I can't see why not. Niasse should have probably scored then.
Ashley Young's ban was 3 matches, which seems a bit harsh just for a little elbow, but it's violent conduct. So
yeah, how long's Lukaku out for as well? Because that looked like a nasty head injury.
Somebody said it's a couple of weeks, so effectively it'll just be today and Derby, because we don't actually play our next Premier League game until Monday Night Football of the following weekend. So we play Friday against Derby, and then the following weekend we don't play till the Monday, so it's like a 10-day gap, I think.
Yeah.
So I'd imagine Lukaku will be back for that game. Oh, it's got to be a foul on Pogba, that. Referee.
What changes would you make now then? Do you think Lingard should come off, or Mata for Rashford maybe?
I think we need I think I would throw Rashford on, because we sort of want to catch them on the break. And yeah, I think I'd agree. I think Mata has had a good game, but he does get brought off around this time a lot. And
Lingard can run forever as well, so I think
keep the speed and the fresh, not, well, he obviously isn't fresh legs, but keep that speed on and be useful.
Especially now we're starting to look a bit shaky. We need a change.
Gone into the advertising hordes and he's clutching his arm.
Who has the best first touch at Man United, says Adam? I think that's one Mata.
Oh yeah.
Without a doubt, I'd say Mata.
Yeah, we don't know what the situation is with Martial at the moment.
He's hurt his arm, by the looks of it. If Mourinho leaves, do you think that De Gea is gone? Says Lewis Webber. Not sure about that. I don't think Mourinho will have a say in De Gea, really. I think it's down to us and what we achieve as a club. De Gea isn't going to keep settling just for top 4.
This isn't looking good for Martial if he's broken
No,
his
it's
arm.
not, is it?
Just be typical.
Doesn't look good.
Well, we'd have to go in the transfer market.
Yeah, we would.
Oh no! What are we doing? Passing it out of the back there. Well in. I think Matt has played very well again, to be fair.
Yeah, he has. He hasn't done any harm.
Yeah, surely a suicide. No, not a suicide, but it was a tasty tackle from the Everton player. And Matt has just thrown one in himself. I think he might get booked. I think Martial looks okay.
Fingers crossed. He's back running, so. Everton want it now, says haha banter. Yeah, Everton, when they made those changes, they're obviously going for a bit more, which is why I think we need to keep hold of the ball and not sit back. I think we need a change there as well.
That McCarthy's a dirty git. I've just seen what he did to Mata.
Sam X
Matic
says,
has been quiet in this game, hasn't he, again?
He's been very. I think he looks tired, to be honest.
Yeah.
Sam X says, I think we need 2 creative leaders and maybe 1 or 2 midfield to partner Pogba. What do I think? I think we need more creative players in general, more flair players. Pogba, yeah, I think he needs someone else in there with him. Not sure who I'd put there at the minute though.
I think Martial looks alright now in relation to his arm. He's not carrying it in a funny way. Oh, Lingard, your touch there is terrible. We could have been in then.
Glenn says Pogba's starting to look tired now as well.
I think Everton look like they might score in a minute. It's
yeah, Everton are pushing now.
We're looking a bit ragged.
I think we need to make a change, to be honest. We need to freshen it up.
Hold on, Lingard bought the foul. George Carl says we need a second goal, no more waiting around. Well, there's 20 minutes to go as well, George. Here we go, Rashford for Martial. I don't agree with that, but there we go.
Unless he's hurt, and that's the reasoning. But yeah, I wouldn't have brought Martial off. I do agree with Rashford on though. I think we need that pace up front. Give our defence a bit of a relief. This game scares me, said Jackson. I agree with that. Scaring me as well. We don't look confident at the back.
Well, I hope Rashford comes on and gets a goal, because I would not. Well, it was a lovely goal by Martial as well. It befits the winning any game, that does. But I would not have taken Martial off. I would have took probably Mata off, I think, in that circumstance. Although Mata has had a good game, to be fair. I just think it's. I think we can hurt them on the break with the pace.
Yeah, I think Martial. I don't think he's done much wrong today. He's obviously scored as well. I wouldn't have taken him off.
I'd have took Lingard ahead of him off as well.
Yeah, it'd be Mata or Lingard would be the ones I'd be looking at. It's a great goal though.
Oh, lovely. I'll tell you what, I mean, well, we said it 20 minutes ago, so I'm not going to start talking about 3 points again. I made that mistake against Leicester, but it would be a very significant 3 points for United. But also, it could be a very significant dropping of 3 points if we do what we did in our last game against Leicester. So.
Yeah, I think it would feel like a loss if we drew this game now.
Good save by Pickford again. Not quite getting that second goal. Lingard this time.
Somebody asked who I think man of the match would be. I think I'd give it to Luke Shaw, to be honest.
Good shot that was by Lingard. Low as well. Keeps it low. Edge of the box. Shot. Going for the bottom corner. Good save by Pickford.
Yeah. Alright, Pickford. I think he's a good goalkeeper. Good signing for Everton.
I'll tell you what, I just feel there's another goal in this game, and obviously whoever it goes to is going to be quite
Hopefully it's
critical
us.
in the final.
We definitely need that second goal. If Ronaldo goes to PSG, it is certain Jose will go, says Niall. We discussed earlier that if Jose goes to PSG, we can see why he would. Easier league, gets more money, open checkbook. Pogba man of the match. Many people are saying as well. He has been better today.
Yeah, he's been much better, and I'm glad that that's happened sooner rather than later, because he has been good this season. I think it's just been, you know, the last 2 or 3 games he seems to have dropped off a bit, but his more consistent form this year has been really good. So hopefully that means we get the old Pogba back. It was just a little blip.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Lance says he's Pickford, England's number 1. Lofty Fraser Forster got dropped against us the other day.
Well, he keeps
Joe
playing
Hart.
Joe Hart, doesn't he, as well?
Yeah, Joe Hart seems to be the favourable option. I actually do rate
Oh,
Pickford.
yes! Get in!
Get in.
Jesse
Get
Lingard,
in.
that's world class. 2-0.
Jesse.
Really good goal. Really good goal. Deserved as well.
That's why Jose kept him on.
World class, that finish. I know I'm not too sure whether you need him in a team to win the title, but that's a world class finish.
Get in. You know, I think Lingard has actually done alright today as well. I think he's played well.
Oh, well, I mean, 3 points, that's all we want. But it's good. I like Lingard when he does this, when he just gets his head up and runs up. I mean, it's the sort of thing that Mkhitaryan should be doing for the money that we paid for him. Just gets, runs at the defence and gets a shot away, and it's a lovely goal. It's definitely the goal of the game as well. Skips past players, not dissimilar to the Watford goal in many ways, in the way he just gets his head down and...
I think Lingard has probably been our best player over the last month. Fair play to him, great goal.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I will say about Lingard, I've got to be totally consistent. I don't think you can win a title with Jesse Lingard in the team.
Yeah,
but
it's not.
it's
He's
a fantastic goal.
he's a local lad, and that's what I like about him. He works hard, and you can't base it purely on that, but you can never doubt his spirit. And you know what? He's chipped in with a few goals this year and a few assists, which is what he needed to add to his game.
Yeah, and what was I going to say? Yes, Pogba with 2 assists as well.
Yes, well done. Pogba's back.
Well, hopefully this is a sign of things to come for Manchester United in 2018.
A lot of Lingard love going on in the comments.
And I certainly think it flies in the ointment of anybody trying to say that he's lost the players, because I always thought that was a bit harsh anyway.
I think it's because of Jose's body language and stuff. Because he's not running up and down the line like Klopp or like Conte. People think that he's not bothered. I just don't think that's the case. I think it's just the way that he is, to be honest. And it's just his arrogance, isn't it, in his aura. Some people don't like that.
There's a late tackle there on Lingard that Pogba doesn't like. No, Pogba doesn't need to get involved in that, really. I know it's his mate, but he could get himself booked for it. Let's have a look at it. Yeah, that's a nasty tackle, that is.
Yeah, he just took him out, didn't he? Knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
Because he was going on to get a third now.
Well, hopefully it's not too bad. We don't need any more injuries, that's for sure. No, he's alright.
No, he's good. Play Pogba at camp from now on, says Mohammed. Yeah, he's obviously better further forward. I think we can all agree with that.
Somebody just said, Mark, give Lingard some credit. I think I said it was a world-class finish. I can't... What more can I say? What more can I say? But I will be consistent. I don't think you can win a title with Jesse Lingard in the team. I really don't. But I'd love to be proved wrong. I'd love to be proved wrong.
I think the key question is what was mentioned earlier. Would he get into City's team currently?
No, he wouldn't. But there's not many Manchester United players who would. I think Martial probably would, and that's...
Yeah,
but it's massive win for United. This is a lot of United fans were, saying, "No, we're not going to get anything here today," and it's a good result to come to Everton and win 2-0, or maybe 3-0. We might get another one. But hopefully, I did do that video yesterday, and I know a lot of people watched it, and I know everyone's got to have a right to their own opinion. But I did say, please, just give Mourinho at least till January the 31st. Let's get behind him as a support, because I find it embarrassing that we are talking about Mourinho out when 3 weeks ago we were talking about winning a title, and we've had a bad couple of results, 3 results, but I still think this squad needs a lot of work on it. We know Mourinho hasn't had the players that he wanted, and it's a tough ask and it's a tough job, and I just think, as we are Manchester United, United is in the name, and Mourinho shouldn't be going anywhere regardless of what happens till the end of the season anyway, and it's in our interest that we win as many games as possible, and definitely we need Champions League football. So I just think we need to just get United behind the team, behind the manager, and this sort of performance today, 2018, new year, it's going to be... I firmly believe we're in a tough battle for the top 4 now because of the points that we've dropped recently, but we start afresh today, and you can't fault the effort of the lads and the tactics, and it's worked really, really well so far. So let's hope that continues.
Definitely. I think the hype from Mourinho stems from the fact that we haven't been creating many chances. We have been playing slow, predictable football, and that's not what people want to see. But I do think the personnel at Mourinho's hand has obviously impacted on that as well. We haven't got the players to choose from, and that's affected our play as well. We've had a few injuries as well, which has affected that. And he does need to make more signings, and I know it's harsh to say that because he has spent some money already, but I do think he needs to make even more changes to get the team that he wants.
I think I tell you what, Herrera was getting a lot of stick in the first half at half time as well, and I don't think he had a bad half. I don't think he was amazing, but the one thing me and Sophie both agreed with is the effort levels of Herrera, and I think today we didn't get that at the weekend, and we didn't get it against Burnley, but today all the players have clearly responded. And let's not forget, only 48 hours after that Southampton game, we've had to come to Everton, tough place to come, and very physical side. And the effort levels of the players has been exactly what we wanted. I mean, I think I was like you, Sophie. I didn't blame Mourinho for Southampton. I blamed the players. And today it was all about the players. And I think the players today have really put a lot of effort in.
Yeah, exactly. And, there's games like this where you do need to battle. They need to show a bit of grit. And I think Southampton was another one of them games, and we just didn't see him up for it today. We've seen character from the lads. And, I think it's a good result today. I'm impressed with it.
I'll tell you what, I just saw something on the TV there about Lingard sort of kicking out at a player, and it looked very innocuous to me. But yet again, this is what happens when it's Manchester United.
They'll probably get a 3-game ban now.
Yeah, it happens in every single game. But if it happens with a United player, it's like the camera's homing it on straight away, package it off. It's off to the FA for 7 o'clock in the morning, and a 3-match ban by lunchtime. It didn't look as bad as the Ashley Young thing, but I'm just mentioning it because the camera did show it, and he did move his leg towards the Everton player. So let's hope there's nothing coming in from that. But very, very close to the end of the game now, and a massive 3 points that we really, really needed. And I know that we were all disappointed at the weekend, but the great thing about United fans is we're not Arsenal fans. We wouldn't be wishing us to lose today so that we can all have a meltdown. We want to win. We want to win. We want it to work. And today they deserved the negativity on Saturday, and I think today they deserve the positives. I can't think of anybody who's had a bad game.
I'd agree with that. I think we've battled well today as a team. Mark, people are saying, can you change the scoreboard please to 2-0?
Oh, I'm terrible at that. Yes, I will.
But yeah, I think Luke Shaw's had a good game today. Many people say man of the match. I think Pogba's played well. It'd be between those two who I'd put as man of the match. And Lingard as well. I think Jesse's played well today. They would be the 3 who stand out the most. But like you say, nobody's had a bad game as such. De Gea has had a
He's
very
had a
quiet
bad game.
game.
Yeah.
A very quiet game, which I'm sure he's happy with.
I just think it's great. I think 48 hours is not a lot. It's not a long period of time. Sorry, and within that 48 hours, we've gone from so many contrasts, and I think one of the biggest contrasts was probably Pogba. He was dreadful against Southampton, and he quite rightly got a lot of stick. And then 48 hours with the captain's armband, he's like a different player, and that for me shows that he's got that mental toughness. And what you need at United, because you can't play well every game and you will have bad games, but it's how quick you can react to that, and you can't react any quicker than that. Although I can't see the captain's armband on Pogba. I presume he is captain. I think it's just fell down his arm a bit, actually.
Yeah, he was captain, definitely. It's probably just fallen down.
We are drawing towards the end anyway, Sophie, because I have to do a quick change to the match reaction one. So thank you very much for your debut on the Watchalong. If you want to give yourself, I know we mentioned it before, but we might have a few people who aren't aware where they can find you on Twitter, and you've got a YouTube channel as well.
I have, yeah. Thank you for having me on. I've enjoyed it. Appreciate all the support from everybody as well. My Twitter is @SophRicho. That's SOPHRICHO. And yeah, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's called Hairdryer Treatment as well, all one word. So yeah, thanks for all your support. I appreciate it.
I'm just sorting out a couple of things. Remember also, we will be doing your Skype calls tonight. We normally do Skype Goldbridge on a Monday night at 8 o'clock. Obviously, this has coincided with a Monday night game, so we will be taking some of your calls, and thankfully we won't be doing it Meltdown, which is great.
Look forward to some positive calls tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we might still get some people annoyed from the weekend, and might get some people who are still not made up about Mourinho, but the reality is, I think it's been a very good performance from United, and although I would admittedly say, I think Everton fans, regardless of results, will be turning on Allardyce, because this is not the Everton I've seen for the last 30 years. They don't like this sort of football. So, but that's their problem, not ours.
Yeah, but hopefully we keep a clean sheet till the end, and yeah, good result away from home.
Twanseeby's coming on for the last little bit. It's still chucking it down with rain in Everton. Oh, Liverpool. The matter does come off. Not going to quite do the 4 minutes. Never really does. But we've got only a couple of minutes left now.
He's done well today, though, Mata. Again.
Yes, I think he was. He has done very well today, Mata. I'm trying to think who will be my man of the match, actually.
It'd be between Shaw and Pogba for me, I think, today.
Yeah, I thought Lingard's goal was obviously... I described this as world-class. I can't change that now. But I wouldn't have said his performance consistently over the 90 minutes was one that stood out as a man-of-the-match performance. Similarly, for the other scorer, Martial, again, I thought it was a very, very good finish. And I thought he played up front and he ran the line well. But yeah, I think there's other people. I mean, the only player I would say from a United point of view who was slightly concerning again was probably Matic. Very quiet game.
Yeah, people adding as well. I predicted the right score.
Yes.
Debut with correct score prediction.
Spot on. Well, unless Everton get a score and then I'm right.
Yeah,
but,
that'll probably be my luck.
Happen. Everton on the attack, but I think we're pretty much home and dry. 20 seconds to go. I've popped the link in the video description for the match reaction and what will be the Skype show as well, where you can Skype in. So as soon as we finish on here, just click that link in the video description or go through the homepage. I think it's called Everton 0, Manchester United 2. Martial and Lingard goals win it, but we will be taking your Skype calls on there as well. So join us on there and get Skyping in. Link in the video description for that, and I'll give you my match reaction and man of the match. But that should be just about it. It's not blown up yet though. He has now. Well, thanks for coming on, Sophie. Really appreciate it, and I'm sure we'll get you on again if you're happy to come back on, and maybe we can discuss getting you doing your own Skype show as well, because I think people would like that.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for having me on as well. I appreciate it.
Cheers.
And good to have a win as well.
Yeah, well, debut, Manchester United win and a score prediction. Definitely come on again. Everybody else, I'm going to do my match reaction on the link in the video description. I'll be there in 60 seconds. I'll close this one down and go over on to the next one. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you in a minute. And remember, you can Skype in and have your say on that as well. So I'll see you over there in about 60 seconds time. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming on, Sophie.
No problem.